Welcome back, everybody, to Tabletop Notch, and tonight, chapter 51 of Brunkhollow. Wow. We have some new adventurers who have made their way, some fleabags who've made their way to Brunkhollow, and slowly starting to realize that perhaps some of our interests overlap in a variety of ways to be discovered and determined and fleshed out as we go. We left off just as Lamont and Val were working their way into a basement that they didn't know that we'd been to already, formerly occupied by some poltergeists.
You wouldn't have known it from looking around the table.
No. Talon's like this the entire time.
It's just a haunted house.
It'll be fine.
But before we get into the good stuff, we'll do the medium stuff. Where shall we begin?
Twitch.tv/tabletopnotch live Sunday 7 p.m. Eastern. This is where you are with us now. If you're hearing this now. Thank you for being there. We love watching you hang out with us and chat. We love when you bit. We love when you call us out on our stupid stuff.
Watch me bit.
Watch me bit. But there are other ways to watch and listen. On Tuesdays, you can listen to a podcast. On Fridays, you can watch a YouTube video. But if you support us with a Patreon membership, say, a YouTube membership, you might get early access. You might get full uncut roll zones.
Whoa.
You might get uncut dagger hearts.
Whoa.
You might get notch and sodas and other things like that. But otherwise, that's where to find us between Sundays.
Speaking of between Sundays, you can find us on all social media. Like, subscribe, hit that follow, smash that button, won't ya? You can also smash some merch. It's Mother's Day. Perhaps your mother loves Tabletop Notch.
Smash some moms.
Smash some moms.
That's your mom's way.
And then buy that merch. We got stuff you can drink, stuff you can wear,
Mom.
stuff you can write in. Yeah, obviously. This is not Oedipus over here. And so that is what I think you ought to do.
A little bit of a different take. Something else I want to smash in my mouth. I learned on discord.gg/tabletopnotch in our general chat last week. We had a wonderful chat, and I wanted to pull it up because I learned a lot of stuff about a donut. And then some people were saying, oh, it's called a coblet where they're from, but it also means horse poop. And then there's another one that like sounds like a benya, and then someone's like, that's a gogoshi. And I was like, wow, there's a lot of culture about donuts. If you want to learn about donuts and how to smash them in your mouth, go to our Discord. There's also some cool D&D stuff.
Wow. Yeah. Smash some horse poop in your mouth.
Yeah.
You heard it from us.
Fried
Incredible.
chunks of horse.
Speaking of smashing things in our mouths, you will hear us smash questions you
Smash Mouth
given
is
us.
going to be on
Now it's going to be on Notch
next week.
Next week. Good. You heard it here first. I didn't know where I was going with that. Yes, Notch and Soda's next week, episode 52. So stick around if you're a subscriber or a patron member. Anything that gives us money, you're gonna get access to.
Body. Stole me.
So stick around for that and ask us a bunch of questions. And then also with our Patreon, we dropped last week, but we didn't really have a chance to show it on the stream.
Yes.
Hold on 1 second.
Yeah, I forgot to upload it to our little window here, but it's Snake in the Grass. You
Yeah. Oh, that's right. We're gonna play Snake in the Grass during Notch and Soda.
Yeah,
tonight.
the tavern.
The tavern style
version.
Snake in the Grass.
You'll
So
see it.
we did a little guide on how to play the tavern and casino game known as Snake in the Grass with some sort of alternate rule sets and some fun. So if you need a little bit of a distraction, if your players are getting ornery and you gotta pivot and too much lore dumping, you can bust out the drinks and play some Snake in the Grass. Yes.
And then, is there?
And-
Anything you want to plug?
Happy Mother's Day.
Oh, yeah. Happy Mother's Day to all the moms.
They probably turned us off after we talked about Smash.
Smashing moms, yeah. For any moms
It's
still
the
there.
British version. We've got smashing moms. I've got a smashing mom.
Good save.
That was very good.
Yeah.
It's the British in you.
It is. It's really
On your
indie.
mummy's side.
On my mummy's side.
Wow.
Sorry.
All right. I don't know how I've missed this name. Someone subscribed for 6 months. Eat my ass.
No.
Spelled EATMAYAHSS. Eat my ass.
My ass.
Eat my ass. That is
Eat my ass.
Good.
Beautiful.
That's also the British. Eat my
Oh, I
ass.
thought it was more French, like, eat my ass.
Eat my ass.
Only Joshua not always resubscribed. Bob is my mom resubscribed. Sam Soul resubscribed.
Happy
Watson
Mother's Day,
resubscribed.
Bob.
Bits Sanctuary resubscribed. Told by a Small Bird 10 bits. Pokedogo resubscribed. Probably Byron resubscribed. Insanely Flatulent resubscribed. Pokedogo is also one of our amazing mods. Thank you so much for everything that you do. Chunky Doug 20 bits. Thank you guys so very much
Thank
for
you.
everything.
Cheers.
And putting up with us.
Oh, yes.
Cheers.
Did you down your
I downed it.
So your mom.
Cheers, chat, but I
Jeffrey,
didn't.
For the moms all across the globe and the continent.
And the muscle.
We're doing this one for the moms.
This one's for the
This episode's for the
It's
moms.
gonna feature a few.
Are there some moms in this
I
episode?
don't know.
Are there any moms?
Maybe.
There's a lot of
There's some
mommy
mommies.
issues here in Brunkhollow.
That's true. Celebrating the yearly mommy issues. All right, let's throw it into the transition and then the recap and then the intro, and then we will dive back into chapter 51
Yes.
of Brunkhollow.
Wow.
Let's do it. For the moms. Previously, on Chapter 50, Running in Circus, the Tyruns took a detour to Heron Lake, where a Merrow named Mortimer helped them locate the last vault key, which had thankfully stayed beyond the reach of Ramo Klein. Fortuitously, TC and Annabel were also coming up from the south, so the walk back to town provided some safety in numbers. The familiar buildings of Brunkhollow were a sight for sore eyes, but they weren't the only things drawing attention, for an acrobatic spectacle from 2 flea bags was taking place at the open market. Crossing paths at the Paramount, we found out that Val and Lamont were looking for a man named Landry Beckham, and Mr. Clemens was happy to get them started on their search. While the others re-equipped and reassessed, Illien paid a visit to Maeve, who had finally come to terms with needing some assistance on her research. Across the river, Val and Lamont located the house where Landry was said to be staying, but unbeknownst to them, it was the same basement where the rest of the party had previously pulverized some poltergeists. Dead or alive, is there anything to be learned from the man lying prone in the cellar? And what other displaced TOD employees will drunkenly pester us in the thoroughfare? Stick around and find out on Chapter 51 of Brunkhollow!
Ah! Damn it, Catman!
Guess I'll just stick to smoking. Brown boots. Yes. Scuffed and resoled, but holding strong. The sign of a well-traveled individual who's come to entrust their feet to none other than that perfect pair that has walked them through thick and thin. It's this category of footwear that has given rise to so many idioms, demonstrating their ubiquity and indispensability as a tool for the life-experienced and hard-working types. Big boots to fill, tough as an old boot, and quaking in your boots. As they touch down on the riverbank, there's a pronounced crunch underfoot. And Annabel looks over to see the man that's occupying this particular set of shoes. Short-cropped gray hair, solidly built and clean-shaven. He's not looking at you. In fact, he seems to be intentionally averting his gaze up toward the sky. But the rest of his body is squared off in such a way that makes it clear he intends to address you. There's something about his presence that is both stately and somber, like a high-ranking politician or a military general that once held an important post but has since retired and is now struggling with the transition back to a simpler life. He gets close enough to the creek that his toes almost touch the water, and even with the steady sound of the flow filling the air around you, his voice rings out very resonant, very clear. I have learned through the eyes of a third party that you were seen departing from Brunkhollow on the morn of 2 days prior, in the company of an unmemorable man who goes by the initials TC. Am I to infer by your presence here that he too has returned to town?
She's gonna pull herself out of the water. Who wants to know?
I am simply the man on the hill.
Well, TC's business is his own.
I very much wish to speak with TC.
If you tell me your name, I am happy to relay a message.
He will know me by the name of Man on the Hill.
Wow. Do you mean to harm him?
I do not.
Does that seem true?
Give me an insight check. And as he's continue to talk, you can make the insight check.
21.
21. It does seem true.
Okay.
As far as he promised me something prior to his departure. Should he find himself in your company again, I would ask that you relay to him that the man on the hill is keen to speak with him.
All right. If I see him, no guarantee, I can relay that message to him, sir.
You tell me now that you have not seen him since you breached the borders of this town. Is that what I am to infer?
Correct.
Make a deception.
That is not good. It's a 4. I'm sorry, it's an 8.
Currently, my duties call me elsewhere for a portion of the day. And so, on the subject of his attendance, you might add that tonight would be preferable. Tomorrow morning would be adequate, and beyond that would be regrettable.
I am a humble message girl.
He reaches into his pocket slowly, and he takes out a little pouch that he holds out, and he lets it fall, and it hits the sort of rocks of the riverbank there, pebbles, sort of scattered down toward the water. If you are one to be materially motivated, there it is. And he slowly turns. And he starts to walk away, and he's walking east, like along the bank, like out of town, like further east along the river, like upriver.
Okay. She'll walk over to her dress
Sure,
and put it on,
you do.
and then
He never looked at you once throughout the entire conversation.
she will walk over to the coin purse that he dropped.
Take a little peek inside. He put 10 gold inside the little pouch there.
Okay.
Fuck. So fuck.
Okay. Man on the hill. I'm gonna try to remember all the details about him. It was definitely a weird interaction. But yeah, okay.
I mean, you got a good look at him. He wasn't looking at you, so you were able to.
Yeah.
He wasn't that far from you, so you're sort of finishing up. You wanted to sort of short rest here.
Yeah.
You can continue to do so. We'll come back to you, but you will have gotten to finish it. So if you need to do anything short rest related, you may do that now.
Great. Okay. I already did it because I was hoping prematurely that I had gotten it.
Did you like meeting my friend?
You'd grabbed a bottle from the kitchen just a few minutes prior, but when you come down the stairs, you see Clemens straighten up, and he makes kind of meaningful eye contact in the way that hospitality types do when they have something more than just polite passing conversation to impart. Your first thought as you see him is that either Illien or Annabel has perhaps returned from whatever business that they'd busied themselves with. But you take a quick glance around the room and confirm that that's not the case. He looks over toward the dining area and motions to someone that's kind of out of sight because they're around the corner, perhaps in one of the booths that you know isn't quite visible until you get all the way down to the lobby. Following that, after motioning to that person, Clemens gestures towards you. And you can feel yourself starting to tense up again. Undoing all the good, honest work that the whiskey had done to settle your nerves. The person that emerges from around the corner, however, instills not a sense of danger, but one of contentment. He was here on your first day in Brunkhollow, so it only makes sense he'd be here on your first day back in town. A slender half-orc with a silk shirt and a top hat adorned with a red ribbon. Gujek Claiborne. Smiling and looking more comfortable in his surroundings than he ever has since you first boarded a wagon together in Merlai. He comes around the corner and he's like holding like a little scarf in his hand. He looks sort of scrunched up in his two fists there as he sort of peeks around the corner after getting the signal from Clemens. And you come down the final couple of stairs there.
Hello, Doxley.
Good day, my friend. To what do I owe the pleasure?
Haven't seen you around. But then I was up on the bluff, and I saw you and your brother coming in from the pass.
Yes, we were working a job that wasn't exactly in town.
A job as requested by Izzy?
No. I don't answer just to Izzy.
I see. I went to CNC a couple of days ago to drop off some tinctures after working hours. Saw her arguing with another sea elf through the window. Thought it was you or your brother at first, but he was older. Couldn't hear what they were saying.
Who was doing the arguing?
Both, I would say. All that to say, good to find you in good spirits.
Thank you. You as well. How are your new accommodations treating you?
Yes, my tent and my work are set up quite well. Izzy did not lie when she said she could provide the equipment that I needed without hesitation or delay.
That is good news.
I said before I wanted to show you when I was ready. Now it is ready. You should come see it when you can. And when you need them, potions at a discount if I have the right supplies.
It's mighty kind of you, Gujek.
Perhaps off hours so the discount is not so obvious to the other customers.
We can be clandestine like that, yeah.
Maybe tonight and maybe tomorrow. Anytime you like.
Perhaps tonight. It's no telling where I'll be come sunrise any day.
Good enough. How is your business with Izzy?
Stalled at the moment, but I believe she's asked me to call on her tonight. Maybe to have another argument with another sea elf.
You mean to argue then?
No, but I just always have that expectation. That way I'm not underprepared.
See, I am told that notice was sent immediately, but it is not a short ride to the Oakrams, so hopefully word reaches my people soon, and they send notice back before starting their journey.
Wonderful. And where will you be housing them when they arrive?
Hopefully, I will have enough money by then to buy a plot of my own.
I wish that for you.
Thank you.
I actually have a question now that you're talking about potions.
Yes, please.
And a little discount. As one not well versed in what you are capable of creating, do you have anything that can sort of somewhat alter the appearance of a person?
In what way?
So that they're not easily identified, maybe from a distance.
Not my usual fare, but I will think on it. And when you come see, I'll let you know.
And,
Is it you that needs to hide?
not yet. No. Friend of mine. Couple. But we all could use a little bit of that sometimes. What about invisibility potions? Are those something that's expensive?
I don't have them on hand. Not something that Izzy asked for just yet. But I am capable. It is possible.
Okay, last one, actually. This is very good. Good, Jack, thank you. Anything to help sort of track in the wilderness? Any way to sort of lock on to a creature or a person? Almost like a hound following a scent.
I have something you could pour on a creature that would make it very easy to then follow it.
That's interesting. Great. That's good to know. Thank you.
I will think on this also.
You're a good man, good Jack.
Not to take any more of your time. Just saw you and wanted to say.
It's good to see you. Did I have your tent information when I seek you out?
Yes, K45. With the gnomes. Up on the hill.
Thank you.
It was plot K4 and K5. But I needed more space, so Izzy bought both. And I made it into one.
Got yourself a nice little suite.
Yes.
Excellent.
The gnomes next to me don't like the smell.
Something they'll have to deal with.
Yes. Just gnomes.
You're a funny man, good Jack. Is he having you make anything new? Or just the stuff she originally planned?
Mostly just that so far. I haven't been running for too long.
If she ever comes at you with a new request, let me know. I'd love to learn more about what you're capable of making for my own self.
Make a persuasion check.
Oh, okay, so it's a 7, but I'm gonna use, I keep forgetting I have this, I'm gonna use my, tactical mind to
Great,
use up
sure.
a second wind and add a D8. Thank you.
No, D10.
D10.
Yeah, it's whatever your second wind die is.
Yep, that makes more sense. I was thinking superiority. Okay, I'm adding it. Oh, that's another 9. Okay, so hold on. 9, 18, so 16.
Nice.
He looks around like conspiratorially in like an exaggerated way, sort of like eyebrow.
If she comes to me, I come to you.
Doxley will just hold out her hand. Shake.
Didn't know anyone in Brunkhollow. Now I know the important people.
Me as well, good Jack.
Good day to you.
Good day.
Sort of marches out the door there, left in the lobby of the Paramount. Anything else you'd like to do, or where are you headed off to after?
Yeah, Doxy's gonna take like another big chug of her whiskey bottle and place it just at the table and leave it. And she's gonna leave the Paramount and she's gonna start heading to, God damn it, Bumper Thumper Boy.
Crenshaw.
Bumper Thumper.
It's like,
Thumper boy.
Crenshaw!
Yeah, that's what she's gonna do.
These boots, in contrast to those making footfalls by the riverbank, are narrower, and in some ways, almost dapper. It's not that they're fashion over function, but they were constructed with the intent of making many ambulations over gravel, cobblestone, crossings, up and down staircases, in and out of carriages. You've asked a lot of them by requiring that they stand up to the unpredictable and varied demands of the downwheel.
Brutal.
And to their credit, they've mostly held their own. They say that if you have the money, you should spend extra on the things that separate you from the ground. Good shoes, comfortable bed, a reliable horse. You're glad you let the local cobbler in 5 Crossings, Mr. Furio, if you believe his name correctly, talk you into purchasing the more expensive pair. Though at the time you put up considerable resistance, believing this trip would be a brief and rather straightforward affair. Run some errands around town, then back on the wagon. The only other possession that served you as well is perhaps your hand crossbow, which if you were feeling poetical, you might also argue is a thing that separates you from the ground. For a time, it wasn't just your last line of defense, it was your only line of defense. What else or who else could you really say you trusted to have your back in the moments most frightening? But perhaps you think as you sit alone in your room, perhaps that's changed some since you've been here. So again, sort of working through the lengths of this short rest here, and we're going to be crisscrossing, moving forward back in time a little bit, but you will be able to complete your short rest. So if there's anything you needed to do for that time, and then, whatever you want to do after.
Yeah, just hanging out for now. Looking out the window every once in a while, see if I see anybody I recognize.
Are you looking for someone in particular? I think we also said that your guys' rooms kind of face the alley in between, so
that's
it's not
right.
it's not like a view of the third.
Yeah, it was like the goblins out there was the most traffic.
Sometimes people come through that little alley to move toward that back toward the bluffs.
Yeah. No, I'm gonna hole up in here for now.
Okay. Even sort of as the short rest completes, was there anything after that, or are you sort of waiting?
No, just wait. Like I've got my letter that I've already written. And I'm like, I look at it and open it and close it again and put it back away.
We'll head outside here. And it's such a small thing, but as you depart from Maeve's, you feel a great victory has been won. Like the boulder that you've been pushing uphill for days has finally begun to find level ground. Best not to celebrate too soon, however. For as fickle as she is, it's not out of the question that you come back later and Maeve has completely reversed her position. But still, a far cry from how business between the two of you has been conducted up to this point. Looking around the thoroughfare, you do get the sense that odd fellow Quince by the bridge was a harbinger of things to come. There's quite a few idle bodies moseying about, not all of them inebriated, but some of them looking a little lost, a little despondent. Hearing of the money to be made, there's no doubt that a sizable number of people came out here specifically looking to work with bison. And they may yet find other work, but there might be a bit of a clunky transition period as people figure out there's too many people for some of the sort of positions and jobs around town. Sort of figuring out whether some of those people that were a part of Bison's are going to sort of work together as independent mining operations or what else might be next. As you glance over toward the music box, it seems more lively than usual for this early hour, and you wonder if you'll find a similar atmosphere if you were to go somewhere like the Heathen. Maybe even more so, given that those who've lost their jobs often make the fool's choice to try and extend their savings with a lucky run at the poker tables. Still, you'll shed no tears for Mr. Stott, and you take a deep, satisfied breath of the warm, dry air before taking your next steps.
All right. I'm going to head toward the Lucky Heathen.
Well, I would say if you're sort of heading in that direction, you're gonna see not too far in the distance, you watch Doxley exit the Paramount and start to head. You think she might be headed to the Heathen. You see her walking and sort of nod, you start to follow, but then you notice that she walks past it and continues a little further west toward the end of town.
So you're talking to herself.
Yeah. That new armor does smell pretty good, huh, Doxley? Oh, I kind of want to get some new armor. Later. I'll let her go and step into the Lucky Heathen.
Great. As you get up to the porch of the Lucky Heathen, what is normally kind of a, even in its quieter times of day, has a very sort of dignified atmosphere in here. The lighting, the sort of, some of the quiet music playing in the corner of some of the musicians that they hire, some of the servers and bartenders bringing around drinks to the few people that are. Even on our slower times, there's usually one or two tables in the back of the grizzled veteran poker players, 2 or 3 guys. You'll see someone kind of come up to the table and, welcome back, let me in. People sort of, and at this particular moment, it has a little bit of a, uncomfortable is the wrong word, but an uneasy atmosphere, and it seems partially because in the center of the room, where was once that dazzling stained glass display of the snake in the glass table, several of, in fact more than several, a quarter of the table looks like it was smashed. There's pieces of glass all over the floor. There's sort of a part of the wooden frame of the snake in the grass table has been kind of bent and broken off. If you had to guess, it doesn't look like someone like took something and smashed it. It looks like maybe someone fell onto it or there was some kind of accident. Like part of it is leaning off to the side, and you see Teddy there, the tiefling who sort of, he's got a broom and he's kind of sweeping up some of the pieces there. And some of the people around the room who are there, some of the people gambling occasionally kind of look over and... You also notice that around the perimeter of the room, the Lucky Heathens always had some hired security, some people there, that a little bit of leather armor, hand crossbow on their hip. There's a couple more people than usual around the perimeter. And some of them may be, recent hires or brought in, you're not exactly sure. But yeah, so the whole thing, it's just, it seems a little off in here. And you don't see either of the Monteros. You see Teddy there sweeping, but you don't see either of the Monteros.
It looks pretty fresh, like in the last hour or something, that if it's still being cleaned.
I mean, he's sweeping up the glass now, so certainly today probably wouldn't have been left. But depending on how much time it took to sort out whatever happened here, it might not have been like just a second ago, but probably today, yes.
Okay, I'll go over to Teddy.
Great.
Pardon, Teddy.
Mr. Tyrun, welcome back.
Yeah, I happened by to see if either of the Monteros were in.
They're upstairs having a discussion.
I see. Does it happen to do with this table here?
Yes, I believe it does.
I see. It's a shame. Do you think they'll be able to replace it pretty quickly?
They will probably have to send out for the custom glass that they ordered.
Yeah.
It took a while to get here the first time.
That's tough. I guess whoever broke it there have a lifetime ban, I'm sure.
Yes. Some of, I'm not sure if you've heard, EOD has become something of no longer operational.
Right, yeah.
And people are a little rowdy, a little restless. There was a fight this morning. We had more people in here during the morning hours than we've ever had before, and we didn't have the security to break up the fight before it got out of control.
I see. All right. Well, I'll leave you to it. I'm sorry that this happened.
Yes, no, it's fine. Would you like me to give them a message?
Actually, yeah. I feel bad. I feel like I'm always dragging them away from what they're doing. So let them know in their own time. Illien would love to have a conversation with them.
Sure. Is there somewhere they could find you if they were looking for you?
Maybe in one of their rooms here later. I might be back. Or the Paramount.
I'm sure they'd be happy to rent you a room.
Great. You haven't seen TC or I guess I saw my sister, so TC drop by.
They haven't come by here, no.
Okay.
Not today.
Yeah, right. Okay. Well, maybe see you soon.
Yes, please. I don't know how long they'll be, but I can't imagine it will be too long.
All right, I'll be around.
Yes. Good day to you.
Thank you, Teddy.
He has like a big smile as he's talking to you, sort of puts it, and as soon as he
Turn.
I mean, he doesn't look like he's in trouble. He just looks like he's having a shitty day, like he's having a tough day right now.
This fucking kid comes in again. I swear to God.
Bye.
Yeah.
It just looks like it's been a bit of a long day, and it's only a little past at noon.
I'll look to the door and think about Doxley talking to Crenshaw, and then I'll do a slow turn and be like, by any chance you need any help cleaning anything up?
Could always use an extra set of hands.
Well, I'm meeting TC and my sister here in, I don't know, some point today, so I'll need to be here anyway. I'll take a broom.
I won't say no.
All right, here we go.
Start going. Great. Start to help clean up here.
What?
Next.
Wow, somebody's getting some weird music.
Don't focus on the boots. That's what you have to keep telling yourself as you creep a little further and a little further forward down this musty cellar corridor. Don't focus on the boots because the boots are worrisome. So splayed and unmoving, so devoid of signs of life. You see them and you think this person may have breathed their last breath. A potentially devastating outcome not just for him, but for two people who are severely lacking in reliable contacts in this unfamiliar town. Focus instead on the sliver of skin showing just above the ankle, which lacks the pale or purplish discoloration that you see from a corpse when the blood has begun to settle. Focus on the lack of odors beyond the basement's mildewy musk. No rank smell of decomposition or rotting flesh. There are just as many reasons to be optimistic as there are to embrace despair, so as yet another gentle breeze of sourceless wind causes your clothes to billow slightly, you hang tight to the former. The room opens up into a larger chamber, roughly 50 feet across if you had to guess. Some crumbling stone walls that could use a little bit of love and attention if someone were actually meant to use this area, even temporarily, as a living space, which is what you've been told. You see calves become thighs, thighs become waist, and waist become chest, and finally, the head of a man in his late 30s, neatly trimmed mustache, high cheekbones, and a bowl cut with black hair. It's Landry Beckham, no doubt about it. Though he doesn't exactly leap up to welcome you. Walk into this room. Take a couple steps forward. You haven't quite sort of breached the corner of the hallway, but you can step a little further if you'd like. But you can see all of him. He's lying back against the floor, feet sticking out, hands by his side.
Does he seem to be breathing?
Give me a perception.
23.
23. He doesn't.
Okay.
Chest is not rising and falling visibly. A little peek, though, with that perception check as well. The absence of obvious wounds on his body is another point in the favor of positivity. You don't see any sort of lacerations or eviscerations, but there are some signs in this room of something gone awry. You peek a little further around the corner, and for one thing, there are bones scattered across the floor and bunched up at the base of the walls. But one side is mostly clean. The side of the room closest to where his feet were kind of sticking out toward the hall, it's almost like someone took a big sack of bones and stood in the center of the room and flung the contents in like a big sweeping arc. But they didn't spin around all the way, so their back, wherever their back was facing, there's no bones there, but there's a big arc of bones scattered across the floor. In addition, there are some chalk markings scrawled across two large pillars. There's two pillars that are supporting the ceiling of this chamber, and there's some chalk markings scrawled across them. They appear to be written in an Elvish script. The whole scene here seems to be a mixture of intentional and unintentional. A man having come down here with some plan or purpose who is then maybe blindsided by some unforeseen complications. Landry's hands are clenched tight into two fists. One of them clutching what looks to be a string of beads, maybe prayer beads, given what you know about Landry. And the other's gripping tight a piece of paper in his other hand. For a moment, it seems that the whispering and the winds have stopped. But another step, and another couple of seconds, and there's another groan. And you watch as a spectral likeness of Landry's head rises and separates just inches from the physical version of him. So the body lies still, and almost like the spirit rising from his body, just a little bit pulls free from the physical body. And you hear your name again, almost with faint recognition. Lamont. And then the spectral head snaps back into the body. And as it snaps back into the body, there's another gust. So it seems like that's what was prompting the air to sort of move throughout this chamber. It almost looks like Landry's spirit is stuck. Like his body is still clinging to it, hovering on the edge between life and death.
Right, Val, can you see to him?
Do you think it's safe to go in? I'll do it
We don't
if
have
you think that it's safe to go in.
I'll go first. We don't have much choice. I'll step in and go to his body, trying to kind of keep looking around as I step over.
The room's not that big. I mean, big for sort of a room, but not so big that you can't see most of it. The only parts of the room you can't see are, again, there's sort of two wide pillars that are holding up the ceiling, so you'd have to kind of creep forward just to peek around. You don't see anything past the pillars, so it's pretty empty. Other than Landry and the bones scattered throughout the place, it's pretty empty in here. It seems pretty.
Is it very dark in here?
It is pretty dark in here. There's some oil lamps that were also in the hallway leading up that are like flickering on their last bit of oil. Some pretty big oil lamps that would, if they burned consistently at a low volume, could last quite a long time. So it doesn't give you the impression that someone was necessarily through here like super recently. But some very dim flickering oil lamps on the walls.
I'll drop down to examine the body, try to get a sense of if there's any condition that I'm familiar with.
Give me a medicine check. 11. Not too much to discern other than, again, with no obvious wounds, the affliction seems to be perhaps of the spirit or the mind, not of the body. Like, his body seems pretty intact. He doesn't seem injured. It doesn't seem pale or discolored or anything like that. It seems very much an affliction beyond the physical form.
Monty, I can heal him, but I don't know if that's gonna do any good. I can try.
If you don't mind, I think it's at least worth a try.
Okay. I'm gonna use Hand of Healing.
Okay. You may. You get to roll for that, yes? You're martial.
8
Yeah.
is this one.
Oh, is that an 8?
That's an 8.
That's an 8. Wow. And then that's a 9.
Great.
And then it also, heals some conditions, although it doesn't seem that they might apply.
Give us the
but-
conditions, just so we haven't used this before.
Blinded, deafened, paralyzed, poisoned, or stunned.
Okay.
All here.
You watch is a process that you've seen before, as she's tended to some other people, but not in a magical sense, but more in a sort of understanding of the body sense. Val kneels down and sort of, with her knuckles and fingers, sort of traces some of the energy in the body, sort of. And the spirit, he doesn't move, the body stays perfectly still, but as the healing sort of takes hold from the hand of healing, there's another. And he goes back and another big gust of air. And give me a perception check as well.
Okay, I might have to change out your dice. That's a 6.
The only thing you notice is just as the wind sort of blows, and after he said your name, you watched as his eyes kind of went down and out of focus, and you looked down to his two hands, one with the beads, one with the note, and the hand with the note sort of.
I'm gonna grab the note.
So the note, even though he seems unconscious in some capacity, he is
Gripping it.
absolutely, he's
still.
gripping it with his life, like to this note. Like you go to pull, and it is like jammed in there.
Here, let me help with that. Can I bend down and
Rip his hand off.
just gently, just prying the fingers open?
I would say you
Not
can
fingers
attempt a
open.
sleight of hand check or an athletics check if you want to sort of more forcefully pull his fingers.
I'll try an athletics.
Okay. 13. You don't seem to do any damage to him, but you sort of pull one finger and then you think you have the note free and you go to pull it and it rips in half there. So half of the hand has the other piece of it.
And they're done
You have
that.
half of the note there.
What you got here, buddy? It's you're really clinging to this.
Wow.
Val, I'm starting to think there's something wrong with it.
Oh shit!
Oh no!
It's the piece of the note that you
Oh,
tore from his
what is it? The
hand.
right side? It's not even top and bottom. It's like a side.
That's not gonna do it. I think you got the worst side.
Well, it seems
All the good stuff's on the other side.
Stuff's on the other side.
Not gonna.
Just and you'll be saved. Yeah.
Make sure to and never.
well, it seems-
And you'll be saved.
Can I see if
I want to. Can I look at the columns because I speak Elvish?
Yes.
So
Yes. You do indeed. There. It looks like there's one phrase written on one column, and one phrase written on the other column, and two things that you notice, having peeked at the note that was in Lamont's hand. It seems the same handwriting, and it also seems like a rather practiced hand. Like you've seen some scrawlings on the wall of like a creature or a madman sort of scrawling. It doesn't look like that. It looks like a very carefully penned sort of, even though it's chalk on the thing. So in a delicate hand. And there's two things written. One says, here, I'll let you read them. One on one pillar, one on
she gets a whole paper?
see that I seek to atone for past transgressions, whether by my hand or another's.
That's one pillar.
See that I seek to act as conduit for facilitating restitution, making no demands on mine own behalf.
Well, I think this is a poem or a hymn. At least it's rhyming somewhat. There's
Light,
a
they'll
structure
guide
to it.
you, love remind you. Near they'll hear, reward you.
Give me a religion check.
Me? Moi? Oh, yes, okay. All right, Anthony, we're gonna try one more time.
Oh, yeah, please. There's no way I could go back twice.
Is that a 6 or a 9?
Kitty cat facing up.
It's
Yeah.
a 9. Okay,
Nice.
okay.
Facing up.
Kitty cat facing up.
Yo, fucking nice.
That's a 12.
That's 12. Okay.
12.
Having come from a family that has some roots in the church and religion, it's a pretty common hymn.
This hymn.
Yes. Common enough that you think you might recall the other.
It's the hand
Oh,
that
she
I
gets two full
know.
papers.
I mean, it's enough that you as you read it, you're glad that like you could go back and like really wrench the other half free from Landry's hand, but you might hurt him, and you're glad that you don't have to do that because you're able to sort of recall.
I know this, Monty. It's in dark there's light. Call out, they'll guide you. In fear there's love, worship to remind you. The gods are near, whisper, they'll hear your praises and reward you. Prove them your faith, the gods will show the way.
And as you finish that, first of all, you remember that it's the first line as well, but this is a hymn called In Dark There's Light. And it's a prayer about asking for help when you need it, and about remaining pious so that when you need help, you are worthy of being helped. That's sort of what it's about in general. And as you finish it there's another kind of gust through the room. And the bones on the ground kind of rattle ever so slightly. You can hear them kind of.
Val? Val, what kind of church did you go to?
Just the normal church. I don't know, but we should grab him and go.
And
That's
it stops.
not a terrible idea.
Right? I mean, there's nothing...
Landry, what have you gotten yourself into? Okay, well, perhaps we just get him out of here. If this is some sort of, I don't know, ritual site or something. Maybe taking him away from it.
Where do we take him?
We probably shouldn't carry his body through the streets. How much? Go ahead.
I just want to sweep the room one more time. I mean, columns, bones, Landry, but...
Sure. I mean, you can do so pretty thoroughly. There isn't that much to see. The one thing that you guys really haven't taken a peek at yet is the prayer beads in the other hand. So he had the note in one hand, prayer beads in the other, and then the two writings on the columns, the bones. That's.
I'll take a look at the prayer beads to see if are they just the standard prayer beads that I would be familiar with.
You're pretty familiar with how they look. You've seen stuff like that, but they're prayer beads that might have a slight indication of a man of the church as opposed to just being one who prays like someone who prays, which is not a surprise to you, but yes, they have a look that looks pretty familiar to you.
I can try to heal him more, but I just don't know if it's worth.
If that didn't do anything the first time, I don't think it's gonna.
Well, it did. I mean,
now.
he came out a little bit. I mean, he.
Do you think he can... Clearly he knows we're here. He's communicating to us. Do we just keep trying to talk? Landry. Is there any way we can help you here?
Give me a religion check.
Ah! Me?
You're the one who spoke.
Come on, baby. Fat 0 on the... That's a solid 8.
An 8?
Yeah.
All you get is he doesn't sort of, in the way that when Val used the hand of healing, he really sort of popped out and was able to sort of briefly communicate. You don't get anything other than, once again, there's like a little rattling of the hands. Like the one that now has half a note and the other one with the prayer beads there.
What was he trying to do here? Why was he here? What was he?
I don't know. Maybe there's some other... Can I scan the room looking for any other sign of like some ritual? Some like... Was he doing anything?
Hard to tell. I mean, again, Val sort of scanned the room as well. It's fair.
On
What
the-
you've seen is what you've seen.
On the columns, what were they written in?
Chalk. They were like chalk.
Is there a piece of does he have a piece of chalk? Is there a piece of chalk in the room anywhere?
Having sort of put that together, you sort of gently pat down
Or
his
his
body, and on the
fingers.
inside of his coat, it does seem like there are a couple pieces of chalk.
He
on the
wrote. I
inside.
think he wrote what's on the columns. He was trying to. I don't know what these bones are. I don't.
Landry and his bones.
Landry's bone collection. He's always trying to pawn that at the circus. I guess I'd like to look and see. Do I recognize type of creature that the bones are?
Actually,
Ooh.
yeah, I was gonna say, can I go?
Whoever would know. I mean,
They
be better
seem
at
like
that.
humanoid.
They seem humanoid.
Yeah.
All right.
Not necessarily human, but like, yeah, elven, dwarven, like humanoid.
I don't know what we. I mean, we take him and we go where?
I don't know. We need some kind of answer. We can't.
Or we could leave
Or we-
and we
or
could
we
tell
just leave
people to
without
come
him.
get him.
I don't know if he's on some sort of time limit right now. I suppose he's the thing.
All right, I'm gonna do one more hand of healing.
Okay.
I'm just gonna burn through one more. Same thing, just, and at the end, I'm gonna just take both of his hands in mine and just, really try to communicate. Landry, we really need you to give us something here.
Great. Give me a hand of healing roll.
D8. That's this one. 3.
3. You pour a little bit more of that healing focus energy into him, and almost like as if sort of shocked with like a defibrillator. Like you touch your hands to him, and there's like a little like jerking, and his hands kind of come off. And in doing so, he throws the prayer beads, and they kind of hit the ceiling, and then fall to the floor. They sort of are over to the side. He's no longer holding them. It like that energy like jolted it free, so he let go of it. Of the prayer beads.
Well, I don't think he's fully gone.
No,
Right?
I don't think so either. Shall I try again? No, I don't think so. I burned through all my focus points. I don't think so either. I think it's a question of, and I'll go. Tentatively pick up the beads, but if they start to not feel like normal beads as I'm going to pick them up, I would like to not pick them up.
As you go to pick them up, you kind of do so carefully, but also with like a scooping motion, like you would pick up anything that's sort of lying on the ground or something. And as you do so, it's like an iron ingot. Like your fingers touch it, and the beads don't even move. Like they feel heavy or like deeply entrenched into the floor. And you go to touch them, and then you sort of if they're on the ground, you kind of grab and you pull a little bit, and they are like stuck to the floor. But at the same time, I need you to give me a Constitution saving.
Oh
no.
Oh.
I think I lost.
was gonna be a bad
Do
one.
a
It was
different
gonna be
one.
bad. It was
Okay,
gonna be bad.
okay.
That's a nat 20.
That's a nat 20.
Oh, let's go.
I feel like you're more relieved than she is.
You take no damage, but as you touch the beads, you are paralyzed.
Oh.
As these beads sort of pour a little bit of energy into you, and at the same time that she's paralyzed and you're watching her sort of suddenly
Oh my God.
go into a stasis, Andrew's spirit comes forth here from the body.
Val?
Please, friend, help to extricate me from this stasis.
Sure, can you say how?
You're failing, lad. End me and bury my body beyond the cusp.
What? Stasis. How? How do you break stasis?
I was told some darkness befell this place. Spirits disturbed. Someone else had disturbed them. Their presence foul. I was told it was James. Not sure that I believe the rumor. Don't know what to think. I wanted to ask the spirits, but I did not get the chance.
And this spirit, which is sort of up for a moment, it feels like he's getting pulled back toward the body. And Val, who's holding on, I need you to either let go or give me another Constitution saving throw. You can like hear what's taking place next to you.
5.
5, you fail.
Uh-oh.
You take 10 necrotic damage. And once again,
I came to commune, ask forgiveness, make right what was wrong. I had in my possession a ring that would shield me from the dead long enough to apologize and inquire. I initiated communication, reached into my jacket, and found that my ring had been swapped with another. Pickpocketed, I must have been. The ring contained a jewel, a black opal, must have looked very valuable to wandering eyes, and
he feels like he's getting pulled back again. Val, you have the
Val,
same
can I see
decision
what's
there.
happening with Val?
Yeah, you can. You can see her grabbing it, and the last time she sort of a pulse of kind of green, sort of trickling energy over her body there.
Can I Can I pull her off?
You can, yes. Or do you let him, Val? I mean, you're the one holding on to it there. You can feel Lamont's hand sort of wrap over yours, and his head kind of comes into vision around your eyes there.
Can I just, seeing what's happening, can I put one hand on the beads and the other hand on trying to pull her
You
back?
see him put his hand on the beads. Do you let go? You let go. Give me a Constitution saving throw.
Hot potato. Hot potato. Hot
Nice.
potato.
23.
23. Great. You don't take any damage, but you are paralyzed. And once again, the goblin tents. I went there to inspect a lot. It was said that James had rented it. There was nothing to find, but he hadn't been there for days. But there were some goblins who could tell that I was searching. They took advantage, offered information for gold, but they told me very little. Said that a man and a woman came looking. The man, shorter, well-dressed, smelled faintly of perfume. The woman was tall and muscular, flowing hair. I never got the chance to speak with them. And he goes back. Do you hold on to them
I'm
still?
holding on.
Give me a Constitution saving throw.
Come on. Oh, fuck.
9.
9. You take 14 necrotic damage. And once again, he comes back up. As you can hear over at the side, the paralyzed Lamont's kind of, as the necrotic energy goes up his arm and through his body. But once again, Landry kicks forward. As I was providing information, or they were providing information, and I gave them compensation for their knowledge. I reached repeatedly into my jacket for the coin. One time, I believed I flashed the ring by accident. Immediately put it back, but they saw it. Later, as I was leaving, I slipped and I fell in the mud. 2 goblins helped me up. They must have switched the rings. Then, and he goes back in. Hold on if
Yes,
you will.
hold
Constitution saving throw.
That's a nat 20.
Nat 20, take no damage there.
God.
I don't know any names. One of them had narrow eyes and a high ponytail. The other was very stocky, hair parted down the middle, one tooth replaced with silver. And back once more. What do you wish to hold?
Yeah.
Give me another Constitution saving throw.
Oh my god.
That's another 9.
Another 9.
It's the rolls on all over again, baby.
9. That's 11 necrotic damage. Find the ring, put it on my finger, and repeat the prayer. But be warned, the dead will not let me go so easily. I have offended them with my arrogance. I ask much of you. If the ring cannot be found, or if it is between your life and mine, you must let me go and bring me to an end. And finally he snaps back and you let the prayer beads, and the room comes to a halt after the bones kind of...
Val, are you okay?
I'm okay. Are you okay?
Yes. Wait, I think we need to move.
Do we leave him here?
I think
Can we hide
there's,
him?
I don't know if we could move him anywhere if we wanted to. Currently, I think we just need to move. I think we just need to move quickly.
Okay. Okay.
Let's.
Heading back.
Yeah. We dart out.
You sort of start down the hallway. You give one last look over your shoulder to see if kind of the room has been disturbed in any meaningful way. And other than the bones kind of, you know, because of the vibrations kind of creeping a little further along the floor of the room, you see the very still Landry there, sort of knowing that his spirit is in there, sort of holding tight, but sitting so still and lifeless. And then you turn, you start down the hallway. Anything else before you come back outside? There's, again, that little, like, loop you do before you get up the stairs.
Is there
to the
anything
cellar.
we can do to offer him some protection?
Not anything that I can think of. If you've got any abilities that I'm not aware of, this would be the time.
I don't.
Then I think all we can do is move quickly.
Okay.
What is Bellamy doing?
We go through the cellar doors.
And as they sort of push the cellar doors open, the light comes flooding back in again, sort of a little disorienting, but the fresh air sort of pouring in and drowning out the musty air of the basement there. But we're gonna head over for a moment.
Yeah, that's good.
There are some places in Brunkhollow that you feel great apprehension when you're approaching them. EOD back when it was functional, the butcher shop if you're not a welcome visitor, even Maeve's given that you're never quite sure what kind of mood she'll be in when she answers the door. And then there are some places you feel no such trepidation. And the sprawling property of the Riverside Smithy is certainly one of the latter. It's a little oasis of hammered steel, steaming forges, and the charming smell of burnt facial hair whenever Crenshaw's scraggly beard catches a spark or a hot coal. Sometimes he looks like he's hard at work on a specific order, pumping out a bunch of helmets, pickaxes, or pauldrons for people that are headed out to the dig sites. But currently he seems a little more thoughtful, a little more deliberate, like he's perhaps working on something for pleasure more so than purpose, or that something someone has requested. In any case, the sign hanging over the patio indicates that he is indeed open for business. You can see his big bulky forearms allowing him to grip the mallet he's holding and still swing it with precision. He kind of ting ting. Look. Trying to smooth something out that he has on his anvil there. As you start to cross the yard, he sees you coming and waves you forward. And then he gives himself a little reprieve from his efforts. He puts something off to the side, puts the mallet down. He walks over to a little water basin that has a very long-handled ladle, which he sort of brings up to his lips with a big kind of slurp there. Puts the ladle back down. Afternoon, Fleabag. Shaping up to be a warm one, ain't it?
I've got that stamped on my forehead, don't I?
Crenshaw, he knows people.
Do you know my brother by any chance? Fellow sea elf?
I think I know the one.
Oh my god.
Been drooling
Very
all
interested
over your
in me
equipment.
thumpers.
That he is.
Yeah.
May I inquire as to a few things that are among your wares here?
Please do.
Studded leather armor.
It's easy enough. Yeah. Studded leathers, no problem at all. Plenty of people looking to upgrade from their standard tannery fare.
Is that something you've got on hand or needs to be made on demand?
I've got it.
And how much would
For
that
you?
cost? Sorry? No,
For you?
No, I'm inquiring for a friend. I have other things on my own mind.
Well, like I said, I've got them, but usually I take some measurements, make some adjustments. So if it's not for you, you'd have to be guessing.
Got it. Good. But you've got it, so
yeah.
that's good to know.
Yeah.
Thank you.
45.
Okay, great. And then, what's like the chunkiest thing you got? What if you're going into the end of the world battles? What you got for that?
I suppose you're talking about full plate now. None of that half plate nonsense.
That is what I'm going after, yeah.
I ain't get that request too often, but on account of the cost and the heftiness of it. But I got a couple on hand. Don't need to be made from scratch, just fitted to your specifications.
And
My workload's on the lighter side for the moment. If I get your measurements now, I could probably have it ready to go by end of the day.
that is expedient. How much does a set of that cost?
1,500's pretty standard. And that's a price I'm prepared to honor.
Understood.
Of course, you can get it flex weave too. That's an enhancement of my own design. Some mithril webbing softens somewhat the mightiest of blows. Flex is 60% on top, so full plate, 2,400.
Doxley's stomach wrenches.
Excellent. That is a magnificent invention. And if one were to be getting maybe 2 of those and a studded leather armor, not with the flex wave that you spoke of earlier, what would is there a discount?
I don't normally hand out discounts on account of me being the best game in town.
That you are, sir. Just inquiring.
I suppose purchase of that size, someone who appreciates benefits of a long-standing and reliable business relationship.
Oh, I do.
Give me a persuasion check.
Oh boy. Let's go. Let's go. Wheelhouse.
Oh.
I really can't. Persuasion, I'm gonna use one last
Hell yeah.
tactical mind. So I add another 10.
Oh.
9.
Oh! So you don't lose the
great.
die there.
Because it didn't work.
Fuck yeah!
I'll tell you what. I'll knock off 10% if you stick your shop in here when the inevitable second-rate smithies start setting up in Brunkhollow, and you let me engrave the Crenshaw logo onto each piece of art as a kind of advertisement for my wares.
Where would the logo go exactly?
Right on the chest.
Nike swish.
I'm gonna turn.
It's a Nike swoosh, but it goes up higher, so it's a C. It's like
I'm gonna turn and look and like if is his logo
Give me a
emblem
perception
anywhere?
check.
Oh my god.
Fuck not! I hate you.
It's
Got
just
a little
dog
duck.
shape
It's got
right
a
beside
duckling
it.
on it.
Yeah.
19.
19.
Comic Sans.
You sort of consider the offer, you let your eyes kind of wander around, and there's a shield hanging in like the upper left corner. There's like a rack of shields. Most of them are unadorned, but one of them is engraved, and it says Crenshaw on it, like the letters Crenshaw, and then it has like like him, his likeness engraved on the shield with a big like thumbs up.
Oh my god.
I know.
I would pay more for that.
Incredible.
Well,
Incredible writing.
Oh no.
Oh no.
Right in the chest.
What? I love that. Can you do that on the studded leather armor as well?
I could do that.
I'll confer with my companions that will be donning such things, but I am very interested in that discount, sir. And I would never go to any second-rate smithy.
Glad to hear it.
There.
If you're moving on from a previous set of armor, I'm happy to take that off your hands.
Let me confer. I've sort of inherited one.
It's fine. Used armor going rate about 50% of the asking price. That's standard. And that is like a used set of armor typically sells back for about 50% of what it would cost to be new.
What did you
Got
have
it.
before?
Huh?
What did you have?
Well, she's
Look
got
at a mithril
Morna's.
breastplate.
Yeah.
Oh shit.
Because I gave mine to Ace when she left.
Oh.
Also, another question. Shit, it's gone.
Well, if you think of it, let me know.
No wait, shit, Matt, I really didn't have a question.
Oh,
Let me know.
and in terms of payment, I've got a fair amount of gold, but I've also got iron. Was it iron? No, gold bars.
Gold ingots, yeah.
Gold ingots for possibly about maybe a little less than half the payment, and I also have some mithril ore. Does that also maybe help balance it, that it's materials that maybe benefit you as well?
Yeah. So, could knock a little bit off, given ingots usually mean that you're a buyer who's motivated. Do you consider yourself a motivated buyer?
Yes.
Come to some arrangement then.
Excellent. Thank you. I will be, actually, yeah, just to get my things started, you may take your measurements.
He has like a little sort of screen that he takes your measurements, sort of all the usual sort of leg and everything, because the plate armor is like full set. So
Yeah.
he does your feet, he does across the shoulders, waist, everything, bust.
Okay. And I will be sending my companions over shortly. May I give you a deposit at some point today?
Crenshaw requires everything up front.
Full up front? Right. Alright, I've left. I didn't want to just be walking around the thoroughfare with however much gold on me, so
I understand.
I'll drop off payment in a moment.
Now, your brother,
Yeah.
are you sure that in lieu of a new set of armor, may not be interested in that number?
He has mentioned the thumpers. Literally every conversation we've had since
That's
he
why I asked.
laid eyes on one. So now that I've gotten the assessment of the cost of this, he might compare and contrast what he would prefer. So yes, I wouldn't want to make a deposit on the armor quite yet because he might change his mind.
Fair enough.
Thank you. What's the total just for mine? What do I?
Well, so what are you?
Okay.
What are you supposedly ordering? 'Cause
I
you
am
have
ordering the.
2.
No, I'm ordering one. The plate armor.
Okay.
With the Crenshaw logo.
Yeah.
I put it on the ass too.
Before we do the discount, so 1,500 for the plate.
Yep.
And then you want the studded
You don't
leather.
want the flex weave?
I can't afford it.
400.
Yeah, that's a lot of money.
So 45 for the studded leather, and then
Sure.
anything of Illien's or not including that.
No, I'm gonna let
Okay.
Illien make that decision for
Can you
himself.
flex weave a studded armor?
You cannot. It when he talked to Illien, it has to be metal. It has to because it like attaches to the metal pieces, so you can't be a leather set of armor. Just those 2
Yes.
for now.
Both with the logos.
Great, both of the logos. So it's about. So before he said maybe a little extra off on account of the ingot payment,
Yeah.
but just with the things you're buying and the discount that he said 10% for having the Crenshaw logo on it, it's $13.90 and a half. So 1,390 gold, 5 silver.
13.95 silver pieces. Okay. So I have quickly do this. Sorry, with Matt. This is boring. 574 gold pieces, and then I have 500 in the bars, and then I have 2 pieces of mithril ore.
The ore is 100 per pound, 100 gold per pound, and usually a chunk is like a pound. So yeah.
100 pounds. So that's 200 in mithril. Plus the 500 in bars, so that's about 700 in like material chunk. And then 574. So 700 plus 574 is literally everything I have to my name. So 1274? Yeah. Yep, that sounds right.
So that's a remainder of 116 and a half.
That I owe.
Yeah, 116.
I'll give you that.
But you can sell your.
Yes,
Yeah.
that's without selling anything. But yeah.
And then, okay, how much does a mithril cost? Because I don't know how much TC has on him.
How much does what cost?
The selling mithril, the mithril breastplate or whatever.
What is it exactly? Do you have the card
Yes,
for
I
it?
do. I do. Sorry, guys.
No, this is fun.
I mean, when you're making big purchases, if you're like, that's 2 gold, that's boring. But this is good.
It's mithril half plate.
Mithril half plates. Okay. So.
And it's worth like $50.
No, it's worth a lot.
I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
Money.
Fucking mithril salt shaker would be worth more than that.
So,
I want that now.
Mithril salt shaker.
a mithril version of an armor is 75% more than the base price.
Whoa.
Okay.
Wow. So the base price
For
of
half
half
plate?
plate, let's do that.
Morna had a shitload of money.
The base price of half plate armor is $750.
Ooh.
So $750, and then the extra, so times 1.75
Yep.
is $1312.5. But then you can only sell it for half of that because it's used. So
Okay.
that times 0.5, 656.25 gold is what
That's
that's
pretty.
worth to sell.
Wow.
That's pretty good.
Getting some new
Flex weave.
armor today.
656 and what?
And 2 silver and 5 copper, like 0.25.
Okay. Okay.
Should you let Morna die?
Fuck you.
Damn. Damn.
Okay. And
You want me to say yes?
okay. All right. I don't want to keep holding people up
I mean,
by
we
just
can
doing
do
weird
that
math
now.
and trying to figure out what I want to give up and stuff. I pay him.
Yeah, I mean, you have enough to get
Okay,
those 2
great.
items.
I'll just figure out
Yeah, we
in
can
what
figure that out.
method.
Nice.
Yep.
Nice.
I'll say, and a feller smelling quite sweet and wearing, I actually don't know what he's gonna be wearing, but he'll come in asking about the studded leather.
Get his measurements.
Yeah. Oh, and don't tell him about the logo. I want him to be surprised by that.
He'll like it.
I know I will.
They
God.
always do.
That's true.
You don't have to just describe him. You can give me his name. Know who I'm looking for.
That's true. That's true. His name is DC.
Casey.
He writes like a personalized autograph to TC on the armor.
That'd be awesome.
Anything else I can get you for? I'll get started right away.
I believe that is all. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Have a good rest of your day.
Right. And he moves aside some of the things he was working on. It looks like he's going to get started right away, sort of working on making adjustments to the setup plate.
Amazing. Congrats on your purchase.
I just spent so much money. Okay.
Wow.
That's what we watch this show for.
Hey, but it's big quantities. It feels.
It's
Love a shopping episode.
Love a shopping episode.
Living vicariously through your ability to make big purchases.
Yeah, exactly. No, I'm still anxious about it.
Last week we broke a little late. This week we're gonna break a little early because we sort of concluded a couple bits of big business there. So we're gonna take a nice little break at the moment.
Okay.
We've discovered Landry's plight in the cellar over there.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
And we have people sort of working.
Oh.
Dirty bastard.
Okay.
So when we come back, we'll see how we overlap and where this journey takes us next. Thank you so much. Stick around.
Stick around.
Get your Brunkhollow
Get your Brunkhollow. See you on the other side.
Ready?
Welcome back, everybody, to chapter 51 of Brunkhollow.
Nice.
We figured out what was lurking in the cellar over on the south side of the river. And we figured out Doxley's finances. Her investment strategies.
Yeah, I called my guy. He said,
Yeah.
buy low.
Yeah, he said.
Love the
high.
Animal Crossing part of the session.
That's nice.
Oh, okay.
A couple thank yous before we dive
Yeah.
back in.
I can't remember how I said this one, but Adria resubscribed. Told by a small bird, 10 bits. Pocodoka resubscribed. I already said. Salem
Thanks
Flatulent.
again.
I don't remember. And Salem Flatulent resubscribed. Chunky Dunk 20 bits. Steph Neff resubscribed. Nice McCross 20 bits. Eat my son bits. Nice McCross 20 bits. Eat my ass 20 bits. Soy little new. Y'all, these names are killing me. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you. And thank you, moms.
Thank you, moms.
Moms.
Thank you, moms. Moms who buy armor for their baby boy.
Moms of all kinds. Sugar moms, muscle moms.
I am all of those things. Except for actual.
Right. Right.
Except for the one they're talking about.
Once again, back up on the third floor of the Paramount. TC sort of comes to, isn't sure exactly how much time has passed as he's been kind of sitting here, figuring out his next move. And complete your short rest.
Oh my. God. I mean, I don't get much out of it, but I'll take it.
Stave off the exhaustion a little longer.
I do like that. I will do my silly thing here where I
Take one,
max
get one.
Roll. Yeah, take one, get one. 8 more, and that stays like that. Okay. Cool.
Sort of listen for a moment. It's still sort of, a couple hours into the afternoon. You can hear just sort of in the hallway, sort of people coming to and fro, footsteps on the floorboards. Down below, you can hear some of the clinking of mugs and glasses at the kitchen.
Put on my second best outfit. Fix my hat. Gotta go outside sometime. Make sure I have my weapons and everything.
You got everything.
Yeah.
It feels good to kind of have your hand crossbow at your hip once more. Put your coat over it so it's not just kind of out there. And as you're coming down the stairs, it looks like normally as you kind of come down the stairs, you get sort of a smile and a greeting from Clemens, but he's actually looking off to his left because, welcome back.
Hi. I'd like to rent a room if you don't mind.
Oh, of course. Any particular floor you're looking for, or just the closest available?
Whatever you got.
Right. Got one up on the 4th floor.
Sounds
4C.
Sounds
How's that?
right. 4C it is.
4C.
And can you tell me the rates?
Yes, he tells you the rates. We'll look that up. We've sort of.
Perfect.
I thought it was 8
gold.
and then 2. 8 silver, I think, and then 6.
Yeah, for the one room too.
8
I
for
think you're
the
right,
double,
yeah.
6.
I have it on
6.
my
We got the 6
screen.
one. That's what I've got.
It don't matter. We can work it out later.
Yeah. I didn't write
It's
that
okay,
down.
Matt.
Yeah. Yeah. we'll
I'm
figure
like 99.
So he hands over the key to your room there, and you do look up, and you can see TC coming down the stairs at that same kind of time there. But
On your ledger, you write it, the name of someone.
just a record of accounts and expenses, yes.
Great. I got a couple bad boyfriends. Would you mind writing a name?
Of
That
course.
ain't my own for me.
Of course. What name should I put?
Dolores Price.
Well, welcome to the Paramount, Dolores.
Cheers. Happy to be here.
You wouldn't be the first with a bad boyfriend.
Yeah. Anyway, cheers. Thanks very much.
The room should be made up, but please let us know if you need anything, and any laundry can be left outside. It'll be taken down and cleaned by Kenzo over there.
Great. I don't have much. Thanks.
Have a good day.
Thanks. You too.
Evening.
Mr. Welker. Still afternoon. Don't wish the day away.
Oh, right. It's just, so tired today. I see you're just checking in.
Don't got much to drop off. Maybe we go to the Monteros?
Right. Yes.
You got other plans?
Well, I think I told you I had some shopping ideas.
Oh, walk with me just a sec. I ran into a buddy of yours. I'll climb the stairs.
Do you want me to want to peek into a young lady's room? Would you like me to wait down
I'm gonna
here?
drop off my stuff. Walk with me.
All right.
Turn back around, head back up the stairs.
A fella came up to me. I was bathing in the river. He, a little prudish, I would say. He said he was looking for you. Sort of tall,
Somebody from the
handsome
prison?
enough, military type, maybe ex. At first I thought maybe clinker type, but he said he knew you and wanted to speak to you. He said he was the man on the hill.
Tall, broad shoulders.
Yes. Yeah. He said that tonight would be good, the morning would be adequate, and later after that would be regrettable.
Ah. That old man on the hill.
Who is he?
Why don't you drop your things for now?
Okay.
She doesn't have much. She's just gonna.
Just check the room, make sure everything's as you know. It seems that it had been emptied out from its prior occupant, so there's like a little towel over the edge of the wash basin, sort of table, desk, bed, single bed.
Yeah, she's a woman of few materials,
Yeah.
so she drops off her little
TC, you like lean against the wall, like ready to wait for a second, and she goes in and then like immediately comes back. Yeah, drops her back.
All right. Right.
I don't got a lot of stuff.
To the Monteros then.
All right. You look like you got some indigestion.
Yes, a spot of heartburn, exactly. Walk with me.
All right. You can tell me later, I guess.
Downstairs, head out the thoroughfare once more.
You're all wound up.
Privacy.
All right, fine. We'll talk later.
As you guys are starting sort of a little bit westward in the direction of the Lucky Heathen, you see Doxley coming in the opposite direction, sort of coming in from further past the Lucky Heathen along the thoroughfare, unless there was a different stop you were trying to make.
Oh, we're good.
So you sort of converge roughly sort of in the vicinity.
Good afternoon.
Hey.
Shall we go inside?
Yeah, let's.
Right.
I'll go first.
You head inside and you find Teddy Haas and Illien are working together. The way, because he's sweeping and Teddy's there, it almost looks like maybe Illien broke something. Like, it looks like he's cleaning up his own mess, but the two of them are finishing up. You're mostly done at this point, like sweeping up the last few pieces into a couple sort of buckets and containers there. And he uses a cloth to kind of wrap it over the broken shards of glass and then just...
So that's why I was more interested in gardening recently, but I heard that you have a pole with tomatoes so that the vines can kind of go up, and that's kind of interesting.
Didn't do much gardening back home, but...
Yeah.
What did you do, brother?
Helped a friend.
Not his mess.
Oh, you're just helping our friend Sweet.
Yeah, I was the first one here, so I thought, there's something to do, and Teddy looked like he wanted some help. Well, not that you wanted some help, but I was here for it.
Always appreciated.
One
We
good day
take,
a day.
Take a step out of town and many things go to pieces, it seems.
As I was explaining, there was something of a tussle at the Lucky Heathen this morning, and we're cleaning up the after effects of that.
That's a shame.
No snake in the grass for a little while.
Unfortunately not.
Any casualties other than table?
No, a few cuts and bruises, and Mr. and Mrs. Montero are speaking to some of the instigators upstairs at the moment.
I see. You think Sorry, I'll let you go, Illien.
Oh, no, I was just gonna say, they've been up there for a while, so I'm sure they're getting a right beating, but that was not important.
Oh, I don't know that.
Oh.
Oh.
yeah.
Figures.
Beating's
Yeah.
more for the basement than for upstairs.
Yeah.
Upstairs
No.
we're talking, right?
Right.
Yes.
Speaking of upstairs, may we perhaps rent one of your beautiful suites upstairs?
Yes, I would love to, as I also said, I shouldn't until the Monteros return, which they have not yet.
Sure.
I don't know how long they'll be.
Okay.
I thought that they would be back by now.
Are there, like, is it closed in here? I'm sorry. Are there, like, people?
No, yeah, there's people here. It's mostly like a couple tables of old folks, poker heads back in the back tables. Like that makes up the majority of the people in here at the moment. And some of the people lining, like some of the extra security around the perimeter.
You don't think with a little advance payment that they'd be okay with us just going up there? Not to pressure you.
I'm afraid that I wouldn't want to do that, especially in the event that while passing through the hall, you hear something you're not supposed to.
Understood.
Sure.
Shall we wait until they come down?
Do you guys want to get a drink? You want to play a game? Want to get some clam chowder across the street?
I was going to go to Good as Gold for a few items. Maybe we'll take the air.
That sounds good.
Maybe by the time we come back.
Yes,
very
I'm
well.
sure just a little longer and the rooms will be ready.
Sounds good.
Great.
Great.
Thank you for your help, Mr. Tyrun.
Yeah, thanks for letting me talk your ear off.
Yes, no, a pleasure, please.
All right, good as gold.
Okay. All right.
Head back down to the thoroughfare. Taking a little walk here.
As we now, we don't go over we go by the bridge, but we don't go over it to get to Good as Gold. If we go like south, we'll go kind of towards that bridge by Maeve.
You could go there to get from Lucky Heathen to Good as Gold. You don't really go over near the bridge.
Oh, okay.
Because that's on your map. That's XI and XI. XII. So yeah, so 6 or 11 and 13 on the Roman numerals there.
TC kind of takes the lead here and actually doesn't steer towards Good as Gold. He kind of steers as though to go towards the bridge there.
Sure.
Might I just say, are we just like gonna be seen with you? Is that what we're doing? Or like,
Oh, is that a problem?
I don't know. I mean, Warden was hesitant on it.
I think they have their hands full over there. Wouldn't you agree?
Old buddy Annabel. Oh, that's
The
not gonna
warden
come.
explicitly said.
Well, he's just
That's
like.
fine. I'm so sorry. Well,
You okay with it?
What?
Seeing being with her?
okay, I can fuck off.
No,
No.
I don't think that's what my brother is implying.
I'm completely happy to fuck off.
I love
Good.
fucking off.
Not what we were implying. I did actually ask after any sort of potions that might help you sort of maneuver about the town without looking over your shoulder all the time. With an alchemist friend of mine, it might take a couple hours for him to brainstorm that thing, but do you, as you little secretive lot tend to have any other cute ways of disguising yourselves by any chance?
Probably just dyeing my hair.
New hat,
Wigs.
wigs.
Really?
Fake mustache.
You develop your own language, but you don't have any sort of twos for...
Maybe that could be the fake language. Fake mustaches.
Fake
dyeing the
mustache.
hair. You know?
There is something called a disguise kit. Yes.
Yeah.
But that's doing basically what you're saying. There's like dyes
Yeah.
in it for your hair. There's like fake facial hair that you can apply. So yes, that exists. But
I have dipped into a kit now and then, but I don't know if it's something that you could get a hold of here.
Oh, you could certainly get a hold of it. I guess. What color you think I ought to dye it? What would suit me?
Whatever makes you happy. I'm also fine just giving you a brown cloak. Everybody seems to be wearing a brown cloak around here.
Fair enough. Do I have a cloak?
You do, yeah. I mean, it's
Just
your
pull it
cloak,
up over
but yeah,
my head.
You can pull the hood over.
Oh, where'd she go?
All right. Where are you heading, Tasey? This isn't the right direction.
Let's just follow his lead.
A few deep breaths with me then, and I kind of make my way over to it's like a stone bridge or...
You're talking about the one near Maeve's there?
Yeah,
Yeah, that's
yeah.
over the Brunkhollow Creek, yeah.
And-
this is right by where, a little further where you were bathing there in the river, yeah.
To where if we all kind of like line up on there, and if you can tell when people are crossing by.
Sure. As you guys are headed to that bridge, Illien at one point kind of looks over, and that guy kind of... He continues on. He doesn't stay there at the bridge, but you see that he's still lingering around.
Funny guy.
Get to the bridge. You listen to the water sort of covers a little bit of the, white noise of conversation as you're standing there.
Annabel, you shared an anecdote with Gideon. And by process of us being there with us as well, about having been caught pilfering. Found yourself facing down the law, right?
Yeah?
Didn't put too much of a stain on your reputation, did it?
I was still quite young. I got a lot better at not getting caught later.
Me too. Wasn't the law that found out my indiscretion? We had walked by many a time perfumery when I was young, and though she would never admit to it, I saw my mother's eyes lock onto a specific bottle in that window. I don't know how many times. For her birthday one year, I, of course, didn't have the money for it, but I found a way. She knew immediately that I couldn't have purchased it. I can still feel the sting of the slap that she gave me. The prayers she made me recite. Didn't end up, as I say, in front of the law for it. But I knew not to share too much, even with those I was closest to after that.
So you didn't come from a guild family or nothing?
It wasn't for love of the gods or the church that I found myself climbing the ranks. But I do now find myself indebted to them.
The ranks of what?
I came here at the behest of the People's Ministry. The man that you met earlier today is the man who broke my leg.
You saw him today. He's out and about, right? Right now.
I don't know where he is. Where did he go?
East. He's a member of the People's Ministry.
What did he look like? I would love a description, so if I see him around, I can know what I'm dealing with.
Please, do not approach him again. He is who I must report my findings of the hag to.
You can't report it to the church. Some preacher is in town? Who broke her leg? That's horrid.
He is not a preacher.
What is he, Daisy?
Don't make me say it.
Sorry. You're telling me.
Annabel.
Doxley's got her arms like on a dagger, just at her belt.
What?
Listen. He is in a sort of stasis here. Yes? He was told to come here, and he doesn't know when, or how, or why to leave. He doesn't know why he's here. He is waiting for a sign.
You're telling me.
Pride.
You're a cleric's errand boy, and he is cut off from his gods.
Not from all his faculties. But yes.
Illien, you want a description?
Yes.
He looked like a man. As mortal as any man I have seen. And you know what's fun about this whole situation?
Fun.
My mission is to kill a cleric. This one sounds like a really good dry run.
I think it is good opportunity, but these folks are trained unlike anyone else, Annabel. It's not, he may just be a man, but he's some of the best picked amongst the population.
But he's cut off from his power, from his magic.
I know. But
and I'm like looking around here.
I would say occasionally during this conversation, like you'll start to talk and you'll hear someone kind of going, and then you go back. So like throughout this, people are using the bridge, but you're careful to sort of, and again with the water sort of covering the sound.
He has other influences, other people, other ears. And he may not even be alone for all I know.
If the people saw that he was just a man, imagine what it might do. I'm sick and tired of people being so fucking scared all the time.
Annabel, let's calm down.
No!
If we find this fourth statue,
This
we
is
don't
what-
have to worry about us doing anything.
Oh my god, are you sure of that? No one's fucking explained what this is to me anyway. You don't even know.
Because we don't know.
Annabel, I've seen something incredible below this town.
So have I.
Something that will match anything that this man could do, even maybe with his faculties. What is the point of putting us in danger if we're moments away from reaching something that could put a waste to everything?
I don't like bullies. This explains so much.
Does it?
Yeah.
As I say, he is still waiting to prideful, maybe even scared himself to take action or leave this place without something to show for it.
It sounds like the perfect fucking time to strike.
It's true. I swear to you, I do not doubt he would lay waste to a dozen of us.
Then let us tell the town. This is huge news. Bison's gone, but is he? The Monteros? A town could drive him out. Let him go to Little Hollow.
Annabel, as one that also saw nothing but red when I first heard this news too. If word gets out that the people of Brunkhollow killed a cleric in their town, and every other cleric hears of that, what happens to the town then?
They come here and are cut off from their gods, and we pick them off one by one.
So bold, so confident.
There will be.
You think everybody, and I'm gonna point around, you think everyone here will take up arms with you? You don't think that nine out of 10 men will run, scared?
I'm so fucking tired.
I'm tired of being afraid as well, I really am. But we need...
Our subterfuge is our best chance here. If nothing gets out yet until we have a full grasp on this situation, Annabel, I know you don't know much about it, and we're still trying to figure it out ourselves, but there is something that could change this entire continent.
We need more than our righteous fury.
We need to find that hag, and we need to find that fourth statue. At this point, it's a race between multiple people. You said he was going east. What if he's at the statue right now doing something to it? From the bison brought.
I imagine he's been called to the prison to help deal with the fallout of what we did.
What is it exactly that you have to report back?
You can't tell him shit.
He knew about the hag, and he knew that she would know locations.
If TC doesn't report back, it seems like he already knows how to find you. If he gets whiff that something's wrong...
I was pretty easy to find, Illien.
But did he just ask you because you were a random person saying, hey, have you seen this person? Or because you had a relationship with him?
Because I was spotted leaving town with you people.
So in the middle of the night, TC doesn't show up, doesn't report back. Now you have a target on your back. A solo, strong wizard against a man that can... It's not safe, Annabel.
I'm not saying I go at it alone. I think the four of us could fuck him up.
And I think that you are so wrong. Deathly wrong.
The more pressing thing is, why not go find Avery? He's out there, as far as I'm concerned, blinded and gagged and can't do anything. If he was on our side, I'd feel 5% better about this whole situation.
He is not the top of my priority, I must say.
He's a friend, and he's starving. We don't know what we can do against this
I have
man.
another friend who's starving. And then there's the hag.
We know...
Can't save everybody. There will be casualties in this. There is a war coming, whether we like it or not.
We're not ready for that, Annabel.
Fuck!
We're not ready. But we're close, and I can feel it, but... We're not ready. What do you think, Doc?
That you're right.
I would feel better if... Doc, I need to talk to you. Maybe after tonight. I feel like there has to be something drastic taken, and I feel like we're not even close to matching anything. I'm thinking of trying to go out with Doc and locate Ramo tonight.
The fuck? Why Ramo?
Because he can teach me things. And I have something he needs. I have this fucking key.
He's tried to kill you 3 times, right?
Yes, but I haven't ever fought back.
Well, I've got a fucking hag who can teach you stuff.
No.
I can teach you
He's
stuff.
shown me things that are important to my lineage and something that I feel like only I can do right now. Maybe me and Doc. But maybe after tonight, if he can show me things, if I can find him, and we survive.
So stupid.
You guys linger here on the bridge for a moment. I'm going to pivot just a little further down, sort of south side of the river here. You guys come back out into the light, and you close the cellar door behind you just to sort of make sure that nobody wanders by. Sort of here in the middle of some of these crops that are sort of swaying gently in the wind. Look around to see if anyone saw you come in or out of the cellar. You don't think you see anyone.
How badly are you hurt?
It's not great.
Maybe it's best that you head back to the hotel. Just go back to your room and rest up. I can go talk to the goblins myself. They're my people. I can handle that.
Will it be worse if I go with you? Would it be better if you went alone?
Possibly. They might feel more comfortable. I don't quite know what goblin on goblin relations are like in Brunkhollow, but
Very nasty.
but that fine racist farmer over there didn't.
There is, you know from having walked around a little bit, just there is a community of goblins that like lives within the town limits. They're sort of separated in their own little area, but they are sort of, you guys don't know this, but it's clear that they have sort of an agreement with the town to sort of live there, because normally goblin sort of communities don't always mix. So that is unusual in its own. In that sense, like, they're used to people that aren't goblins interacting with people who aren't goblins, people coming in there that aren't goblins. So while it may be majority goblins in there, to your question, like, they wouldn't be like, get the fuck out of here, you're not a goblin, like, get out of here. So that you don't get that impression that like only goblins are welcome in that sort of section of town. Just for clarity's sake.
I can go with you, and then we'll wrap up there, and then it'll be the evening, and we can go back to the inn and just rest, and I'll be okay. I'll be okay.
Okay.
I wish we could shut the door or something. I wish there was something we could just, at some point, someone else.
Well, not if we move quickly. I assume if he's only been down there a couple days, whoever. It's peculiar, though. Who is he renting it from? I guess is
That's what
the
I mean.
question.
If he doesn't,
If
yeah.
Bellamy is the reason that basement was like that, is that his house? Who is he? It's a serious question. Why is this? Why did he have to?
I don't know. It
If
doesn't
that
make
shit
any
was
sense.
if that shit was going on in your basement,
we could try to figure out who lives in house number 3.
I don't think that's important. I'm just surprised that this is what we've walked into. It's not what I thought it was going to be, and I'm sorry about that.
I think we have to just move. I mean, we don't have a lot of time. We don't have a lot of time.
Well, I don't think it's going to be dangerous for you to go to the goblin camps with me. So.
Then let's go, and then I'll yeah.
You guys circle around the row of houses, and that guy that was, out on his porch that you spoke to, he seems to have retreated back inside. You don't see him out there. You walk along the row of houses, and you're heading back toward the bridge that takes you back into the sort of center of town. But while you're aware that this goblin community exists, it occurs to you that you haven't seen it. When you did your sort of walk and pass through town, you didn't see it because, it's, as is not surprising, it might be sort of squirreled away somewhere behind, out of sight. So you don't know exactly where to go. And as you're sort of walking and thinking, and you pass by the sort of house on your right there, you get closer to the bridge, and someone you do see in the distance is actually Illien, who helped you find this section of town. So that's someone who seems to have a bearing on. You see some intense conversation happening between a few people. So it doesn't have to be him to ask. You also got information from Clemens at the Paramount. So those are a couple people who seem to have had a little know-how about the town that you could direct you in the right direction if you were looking for the goblins.
Oh, good. Look, it's Illien Tyrun.
Noted scholar of Brunkhollow.
Yeah.
I think he's the official guide.
Official guy.
Hello, Illien!
And as you're like in the middle of this conversation, you hear that voice, and all of you sort of stop and sort of turn.
I hope you don't mind if I bother you. Hi. Hello. Andre Lamont. Andre Lamont.
Yes.
Illien.
Yes.
Could I bother you for just a moment? The goblin camps. Do you happen to know where those are as well?
Yeah, I do. Straight ahead, just past the Paramount. You can even go along the alleyway, and it'll kind of get you right in the area.
Okay,
Yeah.
perfect. And then we just keep...
Yeah, just follow my hand, just woof, right there.
Excellent. Thank you.
Yeah.
Gentlemen and scholar. You all look amazing today, by the way.
Hey, thank you, Lamont.
Did you find your fella?
Yes. Past the Merc Hall. You found it all right.
No, not yet. We're still looking.
Yes,
So.
still looking. We heard he might be hanging out with the goblins.
They
So.
were headed past the Merkel?
Yeah, they were. They were seeing their good friend Landry Beckham. Not Vincent.
Vincent Landry Beckham.
Landry Beckham. I don't know. I haven't heard of Landry. You guys know a Landry?
I've never heard of him.
No, Landry.
Well, he doesn't live here, from my understanding. He's just coming through.
But if you hear anything about him, we'd appreciate, if you run into us, let us know. I mean, we haven't been able to track him down, so.
But
we're
somebody
just-
told you he was going to the goblin tents.
Well, it's the one place that we haven't checked as well, so.
Yes. Well, there was a kind gentleman with a bunch of pigs who told us he'd seen him around, so. We're just going off of his.
Was he hanging out with your buddy? Why?
No, he just said he'd seen him around, told us to
Just
go
to
check out the goblins.
That's an interesting send-off.
Interesting.
Huh. All right.
All right.
Everybody give me insight checks.
Yeah. What if I roll with my left hand?
Yeah.
No way!
Oh, the left hand
are on it.
Wow.
Let's go.
What?
Nat 20.
Sorry, nat 20.
Nat 20.
You guys both got nat 20?
What?
Tyruns are on the cake.
Whoa!
Oh, my 21 doesn't seem so
I got an 11. Annabel's steamed.
Mainly, something that you notice. One thing that you notice is that Val in particular is sort of almost like, not like hiding her arm, but like it's just drifted behind a little bit, and there's like a couple of the veins in her arm are a little pronounced. Like, it doesn't look like an injury, but it looks like, just almost like a. Yep.
Does it look like when Ramo had done that to my shoulder? Like I think he cast an inflict wounds on me a while ago.
I mean, it's like a little greenish discoloration to it that like seems to be like fading slightly, but yeah, it has kind of that necrotic look to it in a sort of draining of life kind of way. So you notice that. Also, one other thing there's a couple sort of not alarm bells ringing, but odd things about the description, which is one that someone would direct them to the goblin tents without a strong lead is a little odd, because like you don't tell people to go there unless you know that they have what they're looking for. And the other thing is that in the time since you've seen them till now was a decent amount of time, and like for them to walk along the row of houses, be like, oh, he's not here, and to turn around, that would have taken way less time than the amount of time it's taken to sort of get here. So, and that's purely a knowledge that you guys have having been in this town. You know how many houses are here, you know how many people are here, so that's not even something that maybe would a lot of people would clock, but you remember that. So that's sort of.
You say you've been everywhere else. You've been to the Gnome Nooks, and you've been with Blaylock, obviously. Then.
We've walked
All
around.
those places.
The only place that we haven't walked past really is, I mean, you said it's straight ahead because we walked around a good amount. We couldn't find it. It's not tucked away somewhere, or
Which house were you looking for?
which house?
Which house?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The third one
One with goblins in, I assume.
down here.
No.
Where you were
The
just.
one.
Four.
They mean the one here. The third one we heard he was renting the house or something like that, but he wasn't. There's no one home.
Only the basement.
What did you just fucking say?
Only the basement, apparently. He didn't rent the nice part of the house.
And
And you wouldn't have gone in the basement.
yeah, you located that basement.
Well, we found the house and we figured, it's probably right under there.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
So
That's where usually it would
you
be.
must know my friend Mr. Fowler then.
Oh yes, he owns the house.
No, we didn't.
No.
Spoke to him. He told you there's a goblin town.
No, the
It was Pigman.
No, it's the Pigman.
Oh, the
The Pigman told us.
all the way the back.
Unless that's his
here,
name.
He was the
renting.
house neighbor in that basement house.
He's all the way, and I'll motion just to the 9th house. He was all the way down there. He was,
Oh yeah,
Out.
the pigman. I remember him.
but he told us he was renting at the 3rd house, but there's no one home, and we knocked on the door to the basement and no one answered, so we figured we'd check the one place we haven't looked yet.
Does that seem true that no one answered?
I mean, I think in that insight check, I don't know about that specifically, but something seems off to you. Yeah, it's like something about it. And it doesn't even, I would say, even with the natural 20, you've been in situations where you're trying to determine if someone's being malicious about it, like lying to you, and you don't get that sense. You get like a protective, like unsure sense, like new people in town. Like you don't get the sense that they're like, yeah, I didn't see that,
Yeah.
idiot. Like it's not that. It's like very much
It
sort
sounded like that to me.
of with a 2. And
Yeah.
it sounded like
I think they're trying to kill us.
so. Yeah.
All right.
You know, there was a story that was told a couple nights ago while we were sitting around the campfire
Oh yes,
out in the thoroughfare.
I know the one you're thinking of, Doxley.
Yeah.
Yes.
It was spooky.
Spooky, very scary.
And I would say also before she tells the story, now that this is continuing, you guys are picking up on a little sort of weird energy. Like at first it seemed like Illien was just trying to confirm. Like he was like, oh, you checked that, you talked to this person. But now the more they're talking about it, the more it seems like they're also like sort of angling for something. But go ahead.
Some folks went down into a basement right along this road here. House with blue shingles, actually. And, they got... Well,
Poltergeist.
Poltergeist.
Sorry, I didn't mean to jump.
No,
into
that's
those.
fine. Spirits.
Ooh.
It was a scary story.
Of course, it's a silly story.
They went into the basement and poltergeists.
And poltergeist.
We didn't do a great job.
And
Poltergeist. Poltergeist. I hardly know it.
Oh, very clever. I actually have some business in the goblin tents. Perhaps we can walk you there. Or I can, at least, if other people have business to attend to.
No objection from
Yes,
me.
sure.
That would only help.
Yes.
Do you, by any chance, this is kind of personal, are you feeling okay? Val, it was, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it just seems like your arm might be hurting a little bit. I happen to notice. You need help. I do know where Blaylock is, the doc.
I'm an acrobat. I'm constantly taking falls.
All right.
Acrobats are notably clumsy.
I didn't say I was a good actor.
All right.
Oh my god, okay.
We broke Chris.
Well, that looks like a crazy fall then. All right, goblin tents. Well, do we have to go? Are we going? Do we have to?
I hope you have more to go on than just the tents. I mean, at least a lot number or something like that. Do you know where you're headed?
Just the goblin tents.
Just the goblin tents.
Quite a
I
large
mean, how
plot.
are there a lot of tents?
I mean, maybe
are.
we could go talk to Mr. Honk himself. maybe he'll be able to help you out. Find Landry pretty quick.
Mr. Honk of...
Mr. Honk of...
Hank Honk.
Hank Honk.
Oh, Hank Honk.
Yes.
Yep, Hank Honk.
No chance he's of the Ogrim Honks, is he?
I didn't ask.
We wouldn't know.
Ogrim is in the location.
Yes, the location.
He might well be. Can't say I'm an expert.
All right, let's.
I wrote this shit and I don't know what's going on.
The Ogrim Haunt. What you talking about?
Don't worry about it.
All right, let's get you to the goblin tents to get you situated.
That would be great. I think we just need to walk around a little bit. We'll see if he's there, and if he's not, we'll be on our way.
Sure.
Yes.
Sure.
And you don't have to come if you don't want to.
No. I'd like to talk with Doc, personally. Is that okay? I mean, would
Sounds
would
great.
I be putting you out?
No objection to you
Absolutely.
talking to your friends.
I can accompany them, no problem at all.
Great. You sticking around, TC?
All right. Off I fuck.
I'll,
And also, come this way.
I'll take the air with Annabel and friends here.
All right.
While you're in that location, you can pop by Crenshaw's.
Oh,
Give him your name.
all right. Has he got what I'm looking for?
He does.
Excellent. Excellent. Thank you.
We'll meet up soon. Maybe we can catch up over dinner. I've been starving all day. We could
Sounds
do something
good.
like that.
Sure.
They start to walk across the bridge back into town.
That was weird as hell. Interesting thing.
And then Doxley left behind here.
Sorry, I didn't know if you wanted to actually go to the goblin tents. I kind of roped you in.
I wouldn't say it's a priority, no.
I kind of sprung that on you, and I'm sorry. Tonight, I would hate to put you in more danger, and I think it will be dangerous. But I can't help the feeling that I'm falling behind Doxley. All of this it's getting too crazy, and the more, ever since Morna died, I just have been feeling like if there's only something I could do a little bit more, then I could have changed something. At the prison, I feel like I couldn't do too much. These statues, I need to do something, otherwise I'm just gonna be watching you guys from a distance. And I think Rum was that key for me. Would you be willing to head out to Heron Lake? Because it sounds like he's been there the last couple days looking for this godforsaken key. And we have a good old-fashioned standoff with him, and if he's not willing to help me get what I want, and it comes to blows, you'll stand with me. That's the best lead I have.
Just out of curiosity, is there a reason why you aren't asking the rest of our companions?
I feel like he's the type of person that if he sees multiple people, he might not even show. There's also the fact of it kind of feels between me and him, and if it came to blows, I think I'd die, so I'd like to have my sister by my side. But it also feels not very stupid, but very honorable. If I'm trying to just have him see that I don't know, it just feels wrong. I need to face off with him. Show him what I can do and what I'm made of, and maybe I can prove myself. I don't know. 4 versus 1 does not seem like something I'd wrestle our family's ancestry's knowledge of stuff from him I'm not making any sense.
No, I follow you, Illien. I want to remind you that you don't have to prove yourself to fucking anybody. Ever. And also, I like winning fights. I don't like losing them. And I don't like watching you lose them either. So if you can guarantee, or get closer to a guarantee with Rommel, we use everything. And it sounds like Annabel is hungry enough that she might even fucking help you. But let's fucking see where she lands after she cools off.
Alright.
I'm there with you, brother. And I'm happy to try it your way. But Rama is not cut from the same cloth as you are.
This is... You say I don't have to prove myself to anyone. This is something that's been eating on me since, like, the second day we got here. You're not disappointed in me, are you, Doc? I feel like I've been let down this whole way. And I don't know how you're taking me leaving the family. I know you said I had your support. But I can't seem to feel like I'm doing anything right. And I'm feeling pretty lost and confused. I just need to figure out who I am and what I'm doing. At least back home there was some stability. Didn't like what I was doing, but I knew who I was then. Sorry, I'm just rambling now. You're not disappointed, are you?
No, Illien.
All right. That's great. That's good.
You know what I do when I feel that way?
What do you do when you feel that way?
I start packing my bags. And I start thinking about heading home. I think to myself, let's go back to the docks. It's easier. It's quieter. We were bigger fish. I felt certain of myself. I felt strong. Let's go back. And after I say that, I feel the sick in my stomach. That's not for us, brother. And if someday you want to say, let's go back, I'll walk this through with you. But you're gonna fucking hate it. She says it with a smile on her face.
All right. Thank you. Appreciate it. I don't know what I'd do without you. I'm happy that I came with you out here in the first place, because it'd even be more of a hellhole back home if you weren't there, so.
Are you wearing your armor?
No.
How deep is this creek?
I mean, not like deep enough for someone to fall in and not break their neck, if that's what you're looking for.
When he like starts leaning away from the hug, I'll hug him a little harder, and then quickly I'll reach down for your legs and just.
Oh!
Give me an athletics check.
Yes!
Oh my god.
Okay. I should use my left hand. 19.
Oh!
Athletics. 25.
Doesn't even see it coming. And for a couple people like, oh shit, got a creek!
Doxley will like come off the bridge and go to the bank of the creek.
Oh.
Give me a perception check as you sort of come back up from the water.
All right.
Oh.
What?
5.
Oh.
Annabelle's underwear is in the creek somewhere.
He comes up with
Are you Godwin fucking sister? I'm gonna have to go dry off now. I won't be mad about a good swim though. Okay, I'll give some thought. I'll come back to you, and we'll figure out what we're doing tonight.
You figure out the funnest way we cut that fuck's head off tonight, yeah?
Yeah. Sure. All right.
Can find the fun in it, Illien, because we're on this ride whether you like it or not.
All right. All right.
Come on, brother. Get up.
I'm off onto the riverbank there. A little further north. A little further north. It's been a little bit of a quiet walk as you've moved up through the thoroughfare, and now moving through the little kind of alleyway between Paramount and the next building over. And somehow, even though the sun is still relatively high in the sky, the dense trees and the kind of poor job done to clear out level plots of land back here give the northern row of buildings a kind of shaded, obfuscated atmosphere. There's creatures kind of scuttling in and out of here, and most of them, though not exclusively, are goblins. So as you're kind of passing back, you watch a couple kind of go by. It's best to keep your hands on anything that is precious to you, because they push and brush by you without a care for boundaries, habits picked up from living in tight quarters and shared spaces. So before you get to the tents themselves, you're back around in the sort of back alley, if you look on your map, sort of behind Paramount and Lucky Heathen, that little row right at the base of the Stubborn Bluffs there. So you're heading to the sort of northwest there in the direction of the tents. And it's quiet back here, so you have a little time, you're able to talk reasonably confident that no one's sort of listening, as sort of the thoroughfare had more people in it. But the four of you emerge in the back. Annabel and TC sort of motioning up ahead to where the tents are.
I saw your act this morning. Very impressive.
Thank you. We were having to improvise. We don't have all our equipment or anything.
Then you are masters of it, I would say.
Doing it for quite a while. She's classically trained, so.
Oh. Where did you train?
The Bauhaus, Indonesia.
Oh.
Indonesia, thank you.
I've been to Indonesia. Got an auntie and an uncle there. Nice town. Yes, indeed. So, you're just gonna look around, or you want to speak to Hank Hawk? If he's of the Ogrim...
Is he? Well, it's... Whether he's... we wouldn't know each other anyway.
Oh,
It's just, there's a lot of... It's always fun to find somebody who's from back in the mountains, if possible.
Yes.
But, you can't expect it. But just whoever would generally know what's going on.
Maybe it is Mr. Hawk, I would say.
At the risk of showing too much of my character, I may not accompany you all the way to Hancock. The last time I was here, I got into it a bit with... There was a bit of a chase.
With Hancock?
No, one of the other goblins.
Who is chasing whom?
You're the chaser or the chaser?
I was the chaser. There was a goblin that got away, but I just don't think that I'll be...
Something.
Yes.
Yeah,
Not even necessarily from me, but...
What did they steal? Must have been pretty special.
A lot that had gone unattended for a while, and some things were taken out of it.
Well, I'm sorry to hear that.
As TC continues to talk, and as you're sort of a little back in this alleyway, no longer where the sort of spray of the river is passing you by and the air is flowing as freely, you get this, you sort of look at the man talking, and it's a little shorter. He's kind of well dressed. Smells faintly of perfume. Oh.
Does it then just click like, oh wait, there was also a much taller...
The other description seems not present.
Seems not present?
Yeah.
Okay.
The other sort of description that you were given of a woman who was tall, muscular, flowing hair, that doesn't seem like any of the people that you've met so far.
Flowing hair, okay.
Well, do you want to tell us if anything was particularly of value? I mean, we can keep an eye out. We might have more luck.
The chase was fruitless.
Well, I could talk to them, try to ingratiate myself to them, see if maybe I could get your belongings back.
All right.
I mean, that was what I was going to try to do, is get the belongings back.
Yeah, what would we be looking for if we saw someone walking around with...
Well, see, I'll be honest with you. My uncle's a preacher, came to town, got killed a couple days ago. It was dreadful, and I'm looking to collect his stuff.
Your
I heard
uncle...
some of it went missing.
Your uncle's a preacher?
Yes.
What would his name be?
Such a good question. I always called him Uncle Johnny, but I couldn't tell you what his real name was. See, he wasn't a real uncle, you know? Just a real good relation of my father, who died. So the information gets so fuzzy.
Insight check?
I mean, you know that that's. You know that doesn't line up with what you said. So. His name is P. Reacher.
P. Reacher. Oh, called him Uncle Preach.
My
I mean, because we haven't heard his name. Yeah, we got no
Have
fucking
not.
idea.
Nope.
my condolences
Yeah,
for
see?
the loss of your uncle
Yes, thank you.
and your father.
Oh, my father was a long time ago. Daddy died of plague.
Oh, he died of the plague.
Yeah, a long time ago. Never knew the man, really.
Yeah, I suppose you haven't been in town for very long.
No, a matter of
It
hours.
was a bit of a to-do when...
Oh, very much so. Preacher went
came to
crazy, I
town
guess.
and-
Released snakes in the music box.
Yes.
Some people died. The man was killed. People in their haste threw his body in the river. A real dreadful affair.
Both of you make insight checks for me now.
Yes!
Okay, not terrible. 14.
14.
16?
16. For some of the obvious fabrications that you're hearing, that part of it has a ring of truth to it. Like, she more easily recalls some of these sort of details. So there's a little bit of, it's a weird contrast because for a while there it felt like you were kind of getting fed bullshit, and now it sort of feels like there's some honesty there, there's some truth in that.
This was your uncle, you were saying?
Again, but not a real uncle. You know how you got aunties and uncles all over the place.
But he let loose snakes in the music hall and
Were the
He
snakes
went mad.
unusual?
The snakes were poisonous. I don't know. He was preaching fire and brimstone.
Fire and brimstone snakes.
You know,
that kind of
Brunkhollow
church.
is a
How
wicked place. All that.
to be cleansed and obviously overcome with snakes was his plan, I suppose.
He was going to just let snakes run through the town?
He preached and then he died.
I think it was some.
I don't know his ultimate plan.
I'm sorry, he had a suicide vest of snakes. Like, what do you know? Sometimes it happens like that.
oh, it's
A zealot, you know?
And this was your uncle.
I'm sorry. You're very hung up on the
I feel like
here. You don't seem to be latching on
Focused on the
to.
correct part of this.
it just feels a little odd to me
I just want to get
that you would know he was your uncle, but wouldn't know any of the rest of this.
What do you mean? I just told you all the details.
No name?
no.
You knew this man who walked into town and
I always
threw out snakes and died you knew he was your uncle?
He truly did not last very long in town.
Did anybody know his name?
He didn't introduce
Didn't
himself.
end up with a headstone.
I wasn't present at the music box at the time.
It was at the music box.
Yes,
And they threw his
The snakes
body
and
in
the
the
That nice gentleman, we've got a job offer there.
Vincent, yes.
Does it get snake preachers often?
This was the first one. And hopefully only. I think his swift dispatch might have done something to dissuade people from releasing snakes again. I'm sure they'll come with something, I don't know, more flavorful the next time.
And they
Less scaly.
threw his
Yeah.
body in the river.
Yes, sorry, what part of the details are you not caught up on?
Do you think the people at the music box would have his name?
I don't. He did not introduce
doubt
himself.
So he hadn't.
Do you
So
know
he
a
hadn't.
preacher?
So yeah, I've known many preachers in my time,
Okay.
but I'm just curious. So nobody knew who this preacher was.
No, he came into town, got a goblin tent.
But you knew he was your uncle.
I mean, I don't know his real. All right, it's an obvious lie. Fuck me. I'm just gonna get the man's stuff, for God's sake. Oh my God.
You got me. His name is Tom. Just kidding. His name is Jeff. Just trying to read you each time.
I'm interested in getting the dead preacher's stuff. I thought I'd tell Hancock that he's my uncle.
Well, what is an interesting connection is that Landry, the friend that we're looking for, is a missionary.
Yes, not a preacher himself, but
Is he a snake type of guy?
No, he's not. He's as far as we know. I mean, he was just a regular patron. We were passing by, and the plan was just to visit him and say hello while we were going through here. So we don't know terribly much about him, but he seemed like a very, perfectly kind.
He was really as far as religious types go. The fire and brimstone doesn't really sound like his bag.
But would he have maybe followed a preacher here?
No, he didn't seem that that type.
Well, so he would know other preachers.
Would he know the preacher's name?
Very possibly.
But
it could be. Okay, so we are looking for Landry.
Okay.
Because we're looking for a preacher.
Do you know his name?
We do.
Look it.
We haven't heard anything about snakes.
Might be the only one.
I don't know how many preachers have come through Brunkhollow on account of it being, cut off from the gods.
Small number.
If by any chance you have heard of the Reverend James Bellamy, we would appreciate
I have not.
the help.
Do I know that name?
No.
No.
So you haven't heard this name at all? There's no Bellamy's in your family lineage?
Alright, fuck it. And I'm gonna describe the preacher.
Now that does sound familiar.
There we go.
You described
There we go.
what he looked like?
He was snaky,
Perpetually wet,
tall, not all wet, dead. No.
Kind of has greasy hair because he seems to use some kind of pomade or oil in his hair that he sort of slicks back. Sort of sharp features, sort of gaunt physique, and an older, kind of late 50s, early 60s. And that description sounds very familiar.
So you have seen him?
I saw him thrown in the river after his death.
How did
And
he
that's
die?
like, that news is like a little, assuming it's true, it's a little sort of shocking.
When did this happen?
Not but 2 or 3 days ago.
Were you close with him? I'm terribly sorry.
We didn't know him at all.
We knew,
And why on earth
we
are you looking for him?
an acquaintance. We
Okay.
came from the town that he's supposed to.
Monty. We didn't know him well at all.
Seems everybody gets to keep a couple secrets. Perhaps we can help each other out.
I think we'd really just like to walk around the goblin tent, wouldn't we?
But we're both looking for the same preacher.
Why are you looking for him if he's dead?
The tent is long empty.
The tent is empty?
Yes.
The goblins are gone?
His tent is long empty.
He had a tent here.
Yes.
Yes.
And there's some things of his that some of the goblins pilfered, and that's why I would like to get it back. Perhaps we can all work together.
Yes, I think in this case it's important that we find out as much as we can as quickly as possible. I suppose, for both of our sakes. I think we can leave it at that. Shall we go about the tents and...
What if we just went right to Hancock?
Is Hancock sort of the goblin
He's
leader
in charge.
He is,
Yes.
He
yes.
is? Then yes, that seems like the right person to talk to.
All right.
Let's walk a little further down the sort of alley there. A little tension in the air. As you guys are all kind of walking along, some of the goblins that wander by kind of... It's like, seems like an air of...
As every time one goes by, I just in goblin go, enchanté.
What?
Well, it's in goblin. Well, it's just...
Hi.
Annabelle's like,
You understand?
I speak.
By Ansha, I assume you give them a rather formal greeting, which some of
Yes.
them never use.
Yes.
So he strikes them as odd.
A lot of chow bellas.
As you walk forward a little more, the tents here are very disorganized, and often they're unmarked. It's hard to tell which ones are residences, which ones are maybe available to rent. It's inconveniences that one has to contend with if you prefer to pay the cheaper rates here compared to the Paramount or even up on the hill with the Gnome Nook. There's a mildly clear path, however, that leads to a tent by the river where the flaps are already open. And an older goblin has the look of assumed authority. He's got a nose ring, some white markings that are maybe paint, maybe tattoos, it's hard to tell. He's got scattered books and parchment around his little abode. As you're working your way there, you get some sideways glances, continuing on. Unsurprisingly, immediately the four of you are marked as tourists the moment you start to kind of wander through these tents. Not even necessarily tourists in the sense of, flea bags from outside, but they seem to have an idea of who's staying in these tents and who isn't, and you guys don't. You don't have a tent here. They know that you're not a familiar face. A couple goblins kind of come out, some opportunistic types. They approach with various wares. Most of them are utterly undesirable. Ratty cloaks, cheap jewelry, some food that's nearly spoiled, sometimes even bitten into. Probably some of the items are made by these goblins or scavenged by them, but others you suspect may even be stolen or maybe gathered after being discarded by, people in town. A couple times people come up and
fish sticks of fish, salmon sticks.
It kind of goes away. Another one kind of comes up.
Necklaces and bracelets, very exotic bones, very rare. Can't find these outside the cusp. Send them home, impress your friends and family.
No, thank you. In Goblin.
Not quite my style.
Someone walks away. Another one's right.
Bandanas, handkerchiefs, any color, red, blue, even yellow. Yellow handkerchief.
No, thank you.
You heard me say yellow handkerchief.
Yeah, no, thank
That's
you.
quite a rare dog.
Yes, I have lots of color.
Cool.
I may be back. Give me a moment.
All right, let me know.
You get up to the tent, and you see this, again, sort of older goblin, very neutral, kind of wizened face, the man who's seen many years and tried to do many things in his lifetime. And as you approach the edge of the tent, he looks up from what he's sort of writing there. And,
Hello. I am Hancock. Can I help you? Are you looking for a tent?
Not a tent, currently. Excuse me, I'm Andre Lamont, new to these parts.
I am Hancock.
It's a pleasure to meet you.
Pleasure to meet you as well.
I was wondering if I could ask about, get some information.
About a tent.
Not about a
To rent.
Not about a tent, just about some happenings recently.
I will help if I can.
Thank you. I suppose in Goblin,
Sure.
I'll continue.
yeah. So I think the only one who can't understand is TC at this point.
I don't think I speak.
Oh, and Val
either.
as well, yeah.
You just say, a ring that was very important to me, to my family, believe may have been pilfered around here recently. I don't want recompense. I don't want to hold anybody accountable. It's just very important that we get that back.
Does the ring belong to you?
It doesn't. It belongs to somebody I know who's in a grave amount of danger because it is gone.
I see. We have a rule here at the tents, not to steal anything from someone who rents. But other than that, sometimes the goblins are hard to control. They steal things.
I understand. I was just mostly wondering if you might be able to point me towards who may have it, so that I may try to receive it from them.
Before I answer that,
Yes.
I'd like to understand your intentions.
Yes.
There are those who come by to our humble home looking to cause trouble. And I'll not be a facilitator, willing or unwilling, of that kind of unruly behavior. Our reputation throughout the camp hangs by a thread. If you confront this person, and they will not give you the ring, what would you do?
Well, I would try to barter for it, trade for it, see what the asking price is. I'm not looking to fight.
Give me a persuasion check.
Come on, I'm a deception check.
I'm not wanting to fight.
He doesn't want to, but he.
Can I also in Goblin just say, Mr. Lamont here has nothing but the best intentions. The ring is very dear to him and to his friend, and he would never attempt anything untoward. I mean, look at the way he's dressed.
You can make it with advantage. Give me the.
Yes.
Thank God. Oh my God. Okay, that's a dirty 20.
Nice.
We're from a 4 to a 20. Thank you.
You're welcome.
If you promise to only barter and discuss, maybe I can point you in the right direction. Who is it you're looking for?
Well, I'm not quite sure who has the ring currently. I know it was.
So you wish to ask everyone?
I wish to find out who has. I have a description of the item.
You don't have a description of the person.
I know the person it was stolen from.
That may be less helpful.
Monty, what's going on?
Trying to find the ring.
What does he want?
He's just information to try and find who might have it. Oh! Yes. Pardon me. Yes, we do have a description, actually. There's a high ponytail. There's... Yes. A silver tooth, a high ponytail. Yes. Two separate people. One with a silver tooth, one with a high ponytail.
That makes more sense.
Your handwriting's too nice. I can't read it.
It sounds like you are describing Craig Crunch and May Plink. Some of our community's more industrious residents. Always looking to buy and sell. They have ambitions of someday opening a gambling operation of their own.
Oh.
To rival the Lucky Heathen, the way they say it.
Well, that would be something to see for sure.
But first, the goblins must raise their standing enough to be allowed to start construction on permanent places of residence.
Oh.
And getting in a fight would not help in this regard.
I was actually going to ask myself if I could speak with Craig Crunch, because I'd like to buy something off him I know he has as well. So, and again, we promise to be nothing but civilized.
Talking and trading. Nothing else.
Has Hancock been speaking in common?
Yeah,
he switched once. Yeah, I think he switched when
Okay.
Val sort of pitched in on a little bit on the conversation.
Okay, I'm with it.
Great crunch.
I saw them less than an hour ago. A little further north along the river, fishing. They may still be along the bank if you move quickly.
And we will.
Thank you. That's
Thank you very,
very
much,
helpful.
sir.
Have a good day.
You as well.
And as you're sort of turning around, you can see that, he doesn't like to he's not like turning someone over, but he's nervous. You can tell, like, he wants, it's a give and take because the goblins will never get a good reputation in the camp if they're very solitary and they never let people in and out of their ranks, but they also won't get a good reputation if bad things happen, if fights break out and stuff. So it's both good for him if you do this without causing a stir, but, it would be bad if it did. So he's placing a little trust in you, and you can sense that. Turn back around, you exit Hancock's tent.
Thank you for your assistance.
Did we get anything that we wanted?
Well,
A description of where to go find Craig Crunch.
Good.
Just who I want to see, and as it happens, who you want to see. I said we could work together, and I meant it.
thank the gods for small miracles.
Ah, so true. So true.
They start to move a little bit if you're heading in that direction. Was there anything you want to do before you started to sort of follow the
Just
river?
sort of protect my pockets.
Yeah.
Yeah.
By all means.
You weave your way along the water's edge, far enough north and around the bend that you lose sight of the rooftop of the blacksmith, which is the most prominent building that's up against the Little Hook River as it curves to the northeast. As you do, you pass by such a strange assortment of people. There are goblins that look like they could be among the wealthiest of their kind, at least in a place like this. And also humans, elves, etc. that look like they're among the poorest of their kind. A very weird sort of clash. Many of them look up at you, hopefully, some of them even expectantly. They know that someone who looks the way that you do probably wouldn't come here if you weren't seeking something in particular. So there's a fleeting curiosity as they wonder whether maybe they're the one who has what you need and whether that might be worth anything to you. You can see that in their eyes. Some are even so bold as to kind of briefly follow you for a few steps, making sure you kind of get a good look at their face before peeling off and heading back between the tents. As the shelters become few and far between, activity by the river picks up. The Little Hook breaks from the main creek, and for a decent stretch here, the water is fast-moving but shallow, creating little swirling pools wherever there's rocks, trees, or brush, slowing and stagnating the regular flow of the river. These are excellent spots to cast a line, or sometimes you just see goblins wading into the water and quickly snatching right below the surface there, and then sort of putting it in a little basket or something to the side. So it's not like there's nobody out here. They're not in a big clump, but two there, one there, another two up there. So this is a great spot to sort of catch some of the fish that are moving through the shallow water. It's clearly a well-known spot. There's a number of people here. Everybody give me perception checks.
Let's go. 12.
19.
It's a nat 20 for 24.
Damn.
6.
Awesome.
The first people to notice some goblins that match some descriptions are TC and Lamont, and you indeed notice recognizing them by some features. One of the goblins has a very high ponytail, kind of narrow eyes, and the other one is rather stocky, hair that's been parted down the middle. It's a little wet from having sort of gone in and out of the river several times. And at one time, he pulls a fish up out of the water, and he gives a big smile, and you see a little glint in the light as one of his teeth has been replaced by a silver tooth. And he puts it in a little sort of bucket to the side there that's being kept. So the two of them, they seem to be working together, one of them sort of hands it off to the other one.
Quarry, I believe.
DC, have you any gold to negotiate with this man?
I have a bit, yes.
Just asking, I'm a little short, for obvious reasons.
How far are we going to have to go?
We'll find out. Let's see.
Too public a place to use much of a threatening tone, it seems, after Hank Honk's request.
I may be able to not grease their elbows. What's the phrase?
Grease their
There's
palms.
a phrase. Grease their palms a little bit. I may have something to pique their interest. Grease their elbows.
All right.
And we're going to reward these for stealing all the things they did?
Yes. It's good business practice. What, you've never stolen something and sold it back?
All right.
You can see him out there. Who wishes to approach?
I'll approach.
They're fishing. They don't notice you kind of get closer to the riverbank there.
I'll just open in Goblin. Just, hello, are you Craig Crunch? Hi, I'm Andre Lamont. I'm from the Ogre Mountains.
And he's holding a fish in his hand.
I was hoping to be able to do business, actually. I see you're busy, but if this is a bad time, I could come by later, but I was hoping to exchange some currency, perhaps some favors.
Yeah, I'm Craig Crunch. What's it to you?
I heard you may have a ring. A ring with
I don't have any
onyx.
rings.
With an onyx.
I have no rings, none.
No rings at
I
all?
don't have any rings.
Have you a box?
Nope, no boxes.
What do you have for sale, sir?
Just fishing.
Only fish to sell.
Not even to sell, just fishing.
Well, I heard that you were hoping to get into business. Hoping to set up an establishment.
Who'd you hear that from?
Oh, people talk.
Yes.
It's Brunkhollow.
all
Small
over.
town.
I heard you're a goblin making big moves.
Yeah, that's right.
I am making big moves,
Well,
but none of them involve rings or boxes.
well, I've got a business that involves a ring, a circus ring. We're looking to move our operations here, and well, I thought if we were able to get ourselves established here, maybe there's a way we could cut you in. You could be a part of the operations up there, sort of.
You calling me some kind of circus freak?
No, not for a circus freak, but being able to provide other. I heard you were wanting to get into the casino entertainment business.
Who told you that?
Oh, the grapevine.
It's a small town, Brunkhollow. Everybody talks. I do think that there was quite a crowd gathered this morning with these two. It would do a lot to have some quality entertainment go for the goblin relations here in Brunkhollow.
Yes.
Tentative as they are.
Yes.
What part do I play in that?
Well, if we've got an audience coming in, along with the circus performances that we'd be doing, perhaps there could be some sort of other entertainment, some sort of
Games of
gambling,
chance.
lottery system. Yes, games of chance, something for them to do before the show starts. Something to entertain themselves.
Give me a persuasion check with advantage.
Yes. Okay, that's not bad. That's the same thing. That's the same thing. It's a 16.
You run this thing?
Yes, I'm.
And he clearly, like, you're a hobgoblin, so, you know, even though that's not 100% equivalent, like, that means something, like, that you're sort of typically a go-between between the sort of goblinoids and the humanoids.
Yes, I'm the owner of the circus. I built it up over the last couple decades. We've been traveling around, and we want to bring it here. We would like to set up shop here.
But you're in business with these goofs?
Well, not with all of them, just with her currently. We just met these other two today, an hour or so ago. They were helping us
looking
get
for investors, and I get to run the games of chance.
Yeah, I would love to if you'd be interested. It'd help us make our circus a lot more appealing. However, the only thing is, this ring we're looking for.
And the box.
I'm not going to be able to get the circus here unless I'm able to find that ring, and I'm willing to trade for it. But I'm not going to be able to get them here without it.
Give me a perception check. Actually, everybody give me a perception check.
I was gonna say, does it look like he has? Does he keep valuables on him? Does he have a sack? Is nearby clothes, other things? Yeah.
Do it right now.
Yeah, I'll do it.
What'd you get?
No.
Roll your deck. I don't know.
Mine is a 10.
12.
22.
Oh! You just noticed that, during this, at one point his eyes kind of flick over to, there's a bucket where they've been tossing some of these fish into to keep them, they're filled with water, so you can see the fish kind of swirling about. But there's also a couple sort of knapsacks by the side there that look like they belong to maybe him and the other person that's sort of nearby. It's on the other bank. It's not on the side that you're on.
On the other bank?
Yes.
Wait, with him?
He's in the river. He's like standing. He's been like grabbing fish. Like he's been standing in the water as he's been talking to you.
And we're on
you've been on like this
side.
bank, and so his bag and bucket is on. Oh, he's over there. He's on the other side.
Damn it.
Fuck!
My climbing speed's great. My swimming speed.
Oh.
Yeah.
We need our Tyruns. All right.
Goblins in the tents here in Brunkhollow. Not supposed to steal things. Hancock says no. Hancock's got this rule about only taking from tents that belong to the dead. And I need Hancock's approval. So until I've ascended to a status above that old fart, or until he dies, I play by the rules. So no, I don't have a ring that belonged to someone else.
Well, that's a shame.
You have a box.
If
though.
you weren't, is there any chance Tell you what, is there any chance you may have a ring that I could maybe pass off as this ring, a knockoff of sorts? As long as I can convince them that this is the ring.
Good thinking. Or a box. Maybe a knockoff.
I don't have a box.
I know you're lying, Craig Crunch.
Well, I don't have it.
Did you sell it already? It was from a dead man. I'm not accusing you of any crime.
I don't have it, and I didn't sell it. Make an insight check.
Come on.
This is
There we go.
Oh, baby.
Now we're back in business. That is a 26.
There's something he's not telling you, obviously, but it doesn't seem like he has it, and it doesn't seem like he sold it.
Oh, the yoinker got yoinked.
Yoinker got yoinked!
What would this fake ring be worth to you?
Well, pretty favorable contract for the aforementioned circus for sure, but I've also...
What does it get me now?
What does it
In
get
case
now?
your circus sucks and nobody goes to it.
Well,
A good point.
well, I've got... Let me see. I've got a fair amount of gold on me currently. I've got around 20.
40.
I could spare that.
And I keep the stone from the fake ring.
Unfortunately, without the stone, I'm not going to be able to pass the ring off.
Then I want 400.
I believe that's simply just not possible. Now, I could.
Fake rings with fake gemstones go for more than 40 gold.
But not fucking 400, darling.
Sometimes.
Who nicked the box off you?
Nobody.
Maybe if we...
I gave it away.
Does that seem true?
Give me an insight check.
What is happening?
That is 22.
22. That does seem true.
You ain't the person that I took it from, so you got no right to ask.
He was my uncle. The person you took it from. I'm very aggrieved. My uncle James Bellamy.
The person who do got a right to ask for it came and asked me for it, and I had to give it back because of Hank Honk's rules. So I don't have it, and I didn't steal it, and I didn't sell it.
Who would have more right to ask than his own niece?
I already gave it to him, so I can't give it to you.
Well, tell me who it was. I should have words
What?
with the man.
Reverend...
Who asked you for the box back?
The man whose box it was.
The man whose box it was is dead, and my uncle.
Well, he came to ask for it, so your information's bad.
Interesting. Very, very, very interesting.
But he didn't want his ring back?
He didn't ask for a ring.
Where did he go?
I think we're crossing lines here.
Sorry, so
I took the box from the man's tent who was supposed to be dead.
And then he came back, huh?
And he came back and he said, I want my stuff back. And I would have kicked up a fuss, except Hank Honk was right there, and I gotta play by Hank Honk's rules.
When did my uncle come back?
A couple days ago.
Did he say where he was going?
No, I didn't ask.
Let's do something about this fake ring.
Let's.
400 seems awful high a price.
What can you give me now, before the circus?
60.
And a promise to sing your praises to Hank Honk as someone who plays by the rules.
He did give you up awful fast.
You look like a group that can spare more then 60 gold.
And he even kind of looks at Lamont specifically, like, you're dressed nicely. Like, quite nicely.
So the question is, should we make a fuss about it, or should we do this the right way?
We're not making a fuss because we'd like to respect both you and Mr. Hancock's future in this place.
Good.
So don't push us. And let's all play by the rules.
Give me an intimidation check.
Go, Anthony.
Reliable?
16. 80 gold, and it's over. A tidy price for a little ring.
Done.
Okay. I fish 80 out.
Oh.
You take the full 80 yourself there?
TC starts. Never mind.
I'm not going to ask you to pay for my.
I don't know what you're talking about.
I saw it. I appreciate it.
He takes like a couple steps back, and he like squats down by his bucket and his bags there, and he kind of rummages for a second, and he straightens back up. He wades kind of back out into the water there. And the ring like into the grass.
I dash for it.
He takes the 80 gold, and you go looking for it. You find it there. Little kind of dark black with flecks gemstone there that catches the light a little bit.
Does it seem like it's it?
Yeah.
All right, good. Thank you. Thank you very much. No.
Good luck in all your future endeavors.
Tell Hancock that we bartered.
Oh, I'll keep my word.
He backs up into the water and he like kind of pretends to be fishing, but he keeps like just looking as you're walking away, just to make sure that you're not sort of circling back around.
So, your uncle survived. That's exciting.
You've been in the basement, yes?
Yes.
You believe in ghost stories, yes?
Well, there's something going on with Landry down there. We
There
need to get this
is.
ring to him.
There we are.
Something
Yeah,
going
see, there we go. Something going on.
Okay.
There is.
So how do you know about this preacher dying exactly? How do you know about Bellamy dying?
Bellamy's dead.
I assume that was
like-
the
I'm
preacher.
gonna-
Apparently alive.
I'm gonna open my coat and I'm gonna be like, I was sure he was dead.
So you think he just didn't finish it then? He survived.
We dumped his body in the river. There are things at work here that I do not understand.
Well, if he's alive, there's
The doctor.
okay.
Even the doctor claimed him dead.
Bigger question is he came back to Brunkhollow and got his shit.
Yes.
Fuck.
So he has a tent here then, yes.
He did.
Not
Not
anymore.
anymore.
I tried to go through it before. It was already pilfered.
A couple days ago.
I've got a few loose gemstones from there, but there was no box. There was no.
But this is good news, is it not? Since you were looking for a Reverend James
We-
Bellamy.
We need him alive.
Well, the good news is he is.
He is some kind of alive.
Okay, so why are you going around killing reverends though?
Because
He
it's
attacked
the
the music
snake.
box. I was helping his friend. You don't remember that? That was the big part of the story.
Okay, sure. I just
Hey,
don't
he was
understand. It seems
self-defense.
Remember all that crap we said? That was the only thing that was true.
I wasn't the only one who took a shot at him.
well, I think the first thing we should. Okay, so do you have further interest in Bellamy?
Yes,
this?
deeply.
We have
What
the
do you
slightest lead on where he might be, but only a description. We need somebody who has.
you know where he
Daphne.
might? You know where he might be.
Daphne would know.
I can talk to Daphne.
All right.
Yes, I know where he is. Is he important to you then?
Yes, we need.
But
to
we
talk to
have our own lead now.
Yes.
Well, then you're welcome to go at it by yourself.
As we should.
Let me stress how dangerous this might be.
Well, I think this may be very different than what we initially signed up for.
Welcome to Brunkhollow.
Yes, things change around here quite quick.
Why don't we head back to that basement?
I don't think I'd like to.
Well, if you're...
No.
Unless you got another 80 gold in there.
Well, I don't. That was actually essentially everything I had.
All right, then.
Well, if you don't have any interest...
Why do you need to go back to the basement?
That's where our lead on Bellamy is. That's what we need the ring for.
I don't think Val wants us to go back.
No, I don't. I think we have what we need. I think we got what we needed, and I think we're ready to part ways. I don't see any need to get entangled in anything here. Business is your business. Our business is ours.
Seems as though we may have related business.
It does
at the
seem
moment.
it to me. But perhaps she has heard stories of the unsavory types here in Brunkhollow and is hesitant to get into business with us. TC, do you think that's what it is?
I get it.
I get it too. Pot calling a kettle. I understand.
I think the business that we have is quite different.
It's definitely not dumping him in the river.
There was no personal animosity there. And we're not looking to dump him in the river again.
Why are you looking for him again, actually?
He has, he's friends with another friend of ours, and he's our lead to that other friend. He himself, not that important. I'm looking to meet a lady who's a friend of his.
Does she seem to be telling the truth?
Oh, let's go!
That's a crit. Oh no, that's a 1. That's a butthole.
Oh, cat asshole.
Well,
you don't have
that's a 5.
Yeah, you don't have to.
Well, that's a 21 for me.
A 21.
Yeah.
It does seem true that Bellamy specifically is not the object of their interest. That's something beyond Bellamy, but that he is the lead that takes them elsewhere. Yes, that does indeed seem true.
Val, if this gets... I believe she's telling the truth. I don't know that I trust them.
No, don't.
But
Definitely don't.
that's fair.
You just met us. Why in God's name would you trust us? We're not going to trust you.
It sounds like we'd all like to have an audience with him, and it sounds like we all are going to misunderestimate what that might look like.
100%. I think it's just smart for us to play nice and... It's all right, TC. You're tired.
Am I stupid? Did I make an idiot? No. It's the world that's wrong.
No, I nailed it.
I would rather we keep this as not dangerous as possible, especially if you're going to be there.
I don't think we have any business with him that would be considered dangerous.
Well, if he's throwing snakes all over the place,
Do you know the man personally?
We've crossed paths.
We've
Did
traded a few
he
words.
seem like a crazed man who would release snakes into a bar?
No, he just seemed like your standard preacher.
Did you speak with any of the ghosts in the basement?
There were no ghosts in the basement.
Well, there were when I was there.
Yeah.
And they were not very happy
They
with
said
him.
bad things about the preacher, that's true.
About the preacher?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Why, preacher? Why?
So it sounds like his disposition may have changed to something a little more sinister.
I was quoting just by then, right? If it wasn't clear. The undead.
Val, I will let you make the call on this. I don't think we have much to hide here. But if you would rather we go this alone, then we can head back alone.
Monty, you have already made it impossible for us to go this alone. So the question is, do we pivot here or do we follow through with what you've already set up?
We can give him a minute. And Annabel's gonna sort of take
Fall back a little
DC,
bit.
fall back
Yeah.
a little bit.
Val, I think this is going to get a lot more dangerous than it has.
I agree now that you've entangled us with whatever's going on over there.
I don't think we were going to. I don't think we were going to have a very normal meeting with Bellamy. Not if he's getting involved in something like this. So,
We don't even know that. All we have is what they said. All we have is the word of a couple of strangers in a town that we arrived in a couple of hours ago.
well, then we can go and we can talk to Landry, but if something goes wrong... If something goes wrong, then I want you to run. Okay?
No, I'm not gonna do that. You know I'm not gonna do that.
Okay, well then we bring help.
That's not fair. That's not fair to say that it's because of me that we need to bring in help. That's not fair. That's not fair. You shot your mouth off, so let's go. But don't blame that on me.
I'm sure that they would be more than happy to just go on their own if they wanted to. They would leave it alone. They don't care greatly about us.
No, they don't. So
they have no reason if we wanted to go on our own, then we can go on our own. Is that what you want? Do you want to take a risk here? Do you want to keep a secret, or do you want to have protection?
I don't think it's that black and white a choice.
No, but it's definitely an element. Isn't it?
Monty, we met them a couple of hours ago. But the girl makes a point. She makes a point. He sounds different. She has a point. She's a fucking point.
He definitely wasn't, like, maddened or crazy as far, like, when you last sort of interacted with him. The one thing that sort of is keeping your mind sort of teetering on the edge is when he left, it was so sudden and so on. Like, the circumstances under which he left, when you talked to other people in his congregation, they all seemed extremely taken aback, like, shocked that he left in the middle of what was going on. Like, that you keep, like, coming back to that, where it's like, even though it didn't seem like he was, like, losing it, like, he just up and left, and that really threw everybody, not just you guys, it threw everybody in the town. So something was afoot.
Something's been off. Something's been off since before we left. Now that we're here, I was worried about bringing you, but I figured it would be something I'd be able to handle. I'm not sure I'm going to be able to do enough to protect you here. Whatever was going on with those beads was a lot. I have a feeling that's not going to be the worst of it.
Sort of flex your hand and your arm as he says that. Still a little bit of a greenish discoloration there in your arm.
I'm not going to tell you what to do. I just want you to know where I'm at. If we go down there and you get hurt, I don't want to carry that with me.
All right.
Okay.
but you watch
I'll be watching them. I've been watching them.
that girl. You do not let her charm you. She is smart.
Please.
She is scarily sharp. You watch her.
I won't be charmed. She's like 40 years too young for me. I'm not
talking about that kind of charm. I'm just saying she's really fucking smart.
Okay, well, that makes 2 smart young women.
As they've
I
had.
thought you'd have a friend.
I'm not here to make friends. Just.
Okay.
But she's gonna have a fucking smirk on her face. I'll tell you that when we tell her that. You talk to her.
Okay.
Parallel to this, so while that was going on,
Yeah.
TC and Annabel.
Yeah.
That stands.
Well.
Oh no!
This
Sorry.
is like
Chris.
parallel
Hold
to
on, Chris.
these, you guys having that discussion. Was Annabel.
Monty's like,
I'm just gonna shrink. Remind me.
Speaking of tents, I'm not mad at you. I mean, I am, but we all make choices to survive, right? I gotta apologize to Illien, I guess.
Why?
I was rude and he doesn't like me.
Oh, don't worry about him. He likes everybody.
Maybe you're right.
And as much as you may or may not like me, I know there's nothing I could say that would keep you from judging me.
I don't, though.
I will. You won't deny me this. A week ago, I felt I understood how the world worked. I lived my life and I made choices within that framework.
Of course.
And I have seen,
And it could be different.
I've seen you do things. I've seen Morna do things that have shattered much of that illusion.
That's what I'm saying. Maybe we don't have to be so fucking afraid.
I think a healthy dose of fear will keep us alive to some degree.
As long as it doesn't paralyze us.
Yes, that it doesn't keep us from action.
TC,
Yes, Annabel.
if you fucking betray me, you have no idea. I didn't get here because I have friends in low places. You hear me? There are bigger things at work.
I believe that.
Let's play nice for these 2 circus freaks, okay?
Of course.
Guys, circle back after your discussion. Meet back up the 4 of you. Sort of. You're by now. You've been walking through. You walked back through the tents. You're kind of in the just behind Paramount, basically, before you were to walk kind of through that little alleyway back into the thoroughfare.
Okay.
Was there?
Well, like where we were at some point would have kind of been down the bluff to Crenshaw's, but
You're not on top of the bluffs.
right.
Yeah. I mean, Crenshaw's is it's just a stone's throw. It's just a block, so it's not like you're walking wildly out of.
I have to go this way.
Yeah.
No. Okay.
So yeah, I mean, so you guys sort of right before you take that little alleyway back through into the main thoroughfare, sort of the 4 of you, little kind of looking at each other.
Well,
What are y'all thinking?
if you would like to accompany us to the basement, we can see what our contact has to say. he may be able to point you towards Bellamy, us towards Bellamy. Figure out more about what's going on.
Maybe we get the Tyruns involved.
I am morbidly curious. Perhaps yes.
Yeah.
Would you
Safer
begrudge us
in numbers? Would you mind?
the people that already know about the basement,
Yes.
even as much as we do?
Yeah, so we didn't see any other spirits down there or anything.
They don't make themselves known until they have
Yes,
to.
they usually pop out at you. One choked me.
Okay, well,
It was very rude.
well, hopefully it won't come to that.
I completely agree.
All we want to do is get our friend out of there.
I think we can work together in this small business venture.
Okay, well,
Oh, gods.
We'll meet you there.
Great. Do not go in without us. We're fucking serious about the poltergeists.
okay, well, we didn't see. There was a weird door, but
We won't go in without you.
yes.
Right.
All right.
Bye.
Shall we?
See you there.
Down through the alleyway, back out into the main thoroughfare. And with a tentative plan, that is where we're going to end tonight's episode. The lore was dumped.
Yeah.
The words were had.
Yes.
And that takes us to the end of chapter
The
51
lore
of
wasn't
Brunkhollow.
dumped. It was like pushed out. Oh my
It was.
It was a great
We have
episode,
fucking
everybody. Well,
hemorrhoids. Damn.
I am sure that next week there will be much to discuss at
If you're a Twitch subscriber, Patreon subscriber, YouTube member.
For the time being,
Spotify.
Spotify.
Spotify subscribers.
We still love
A
you.
Prime Twitch
We
sub.
do still love you.
Throwing it fun and easy and free.
So much information to digest.
Oh, new fan art! I can't wait. Thank
Excellent
you. Yes,
job,
join us in
everyone.
the Discord. It sounds like
Join us
there's
in
new
the
fan art.
Discord.
Woo, woo, can't wait.
Fan art.
Fan art.
Much love.
Fart on the disky.
Oh, a little disc fart?
A little disc fart.
No.
Oh boy.
Stop trying to make art happen.
Oh my god! Oh no!
What?
It's Crenshaw's brand.
That's really good. It's really good.
You did that's amazing!
Hours.
Oh my god!
Actually incredible.
That's fantastic!
Check out the Discord.
Yeah, go to the Discord.
Oh my
What's going to be like this big?
God.
Oh, you wish it's that small?
Are we talking like
It's the whole torso.
I can't
the
wait.
leather goes like underneath my waistcoat, right?
It does.
Okay,
Your coat
good,
goes
okay.
over it.
Not me.
Yeah, not you.
It's just that community bit.
Wow.
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 Wait, which community bit?
When they're making the commercial for for Greendale.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
Just shoots a basket.
Wow.
That's why I went to this school, I think.
Oh my god.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Thank you all so much for joining us. Happy Mother's Day one more time. Tell your mother you love them.
Thanks for watching, moms.
And we'll be back next week, same time, and we will delve into this basement and see if there are indeed any ghosts waiting for us down below.
Yeah, I don't have any armor, I don't think.
You have your old armor?
No, I don't. I gave that to Ace.
Oh.
God.
And then I just sold the mithril.
Oh, you just sold the mithril?
Yeah.
We hadn't figured out exactly how you were doing it, but
Those
sure.
go through
I
armor
could
anyways.
use a short rest, so you do what y'all need to do. I'll sleep it off.
Fair enough.
Oh, God.
That's all right.
Pivar gave out a sub. Only Josh gave out a sub. Low Guy 30 bits. Adria did 5 bits. Emayas 40 bits. Nice Ross 40 bits. Emayas 45. Thank you for making me say this. Nice Ross 101 bits. Emayas gave out a sub. Emayas did 100 bits. Emayas
Oh my goodness.
20 bits. Emayas 20 bits.
Oh, you broke Jordan big
Not
time.
subscribed. Nice Ross did a bit. And
Wow.
Eat my ass.
Eat the Maya.
To your eyes.
Cheers. I don't have a drink. Thank you.
Good night, everybody. We'll see you next week. Same
Good
time.
night.
Bye.
Bye.